Okay, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully we're going live now again, and it's better. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's have a look at this. Okay, can everyone hear me okay? So I'm thinking it's that channel. Come on. Come on. Ah, great, we're alive. Come on. Ah, great, we're alive. Finally. Right. So we're loud enough now. Everything's working. Okay, guys, sorry about that. At least we're back on now and we can start. Good, good, good. Okay, that's what I like to see. So in my last video, we did a whiteboard. So this is the whiteboard. I don't know why it's upside down, but this is the whiteboard. It's going to have all the stuff on we're going to be discussing, okay? We're just going to let a few people come in first before we start. So, yeah, so get everything ready and then have a nice cup of tea. And then let's see who's in here. So, have you been following the Summer Wells case at all? Tomorrow I'll be going live on the Mystery Angels. Apparently I have to wait 24 hours. I didn't know that. Once you set up, I thought because it's in this on the same thing, but obviously I was wrong, right? So if you've been following the Summer Wells case, you know that there's a lot happening at the moment with it, right? So there's a lot of misinformation and everything like that. What the angels will do, the Mystery Angels are doing is we're not interested in how can I put this, in we're not police force, we're not anyone like that. We're just using every day, what I call everyday Joe. We're using our skills, just who we are as people, to discuss what's happening, to discuss what we think, like bounce off each other's ideas, and then all come to a conclusion as a group, as YouTubers. We all come to a conclusion, and then we wait to see. We can change our minds halfway through. We can do it where it's like 1 minute it could be this person and that person. That's fine. We can change our minds. The only thing I ask people, the only time you will be blocked is if you skit anybody else that thinks certain ways, or if you bring somebody down because of the way they think, then you won't be invited back. You'll be blocked. And to be honest, everyone should be able to have their own opinions, their own thoughts. We're not going to interfere with police or anything like that. If the police would like to watch our channel and then say, actually, one of these people have got it close to what we're thinking, or we're giving ideas, that's good. But all this channel is, we're not here to find Summer. We're not here to help find Summer or anyone that's missing any of the mysteries. What we're here to do is discuss it, say things that police can't say, or if you were a police officer you couldn't say, and stuff like that, to give you an opportunity to say what you want to say. And if you want to accuse someone, you can. So if you say, oh, I think it's the mother because of this, this and this, we don't need no evidence. All you need to do is tell us why you think that, why it's come to your conclusion. Do you feel it could be this person, that person, or evidence that is on YouTube, on like the news. So the reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of us are around the world, like some of us aren't even in the US, right? So when a crime happens or a mystery happens, like say someone says, I've been taken over by spirits or wherever, we can't get to the person to help them. So if we could, I wanted to do a channel that we can all be together, so someone can say, hey, listen, there's a friend of mine that's having trouble because they're haunted, their house and that, and then we can talk, and then I can bring you on and we can do split screens and stuff like that. If you want to be part of that, you can. If you want to be part of the channel in any way you think to build this channel, let me know. Right, we still use Guardian and Chip's Adventures at the moment until I can get like the Facebook account set up for Mystery Angels and stuff like that. Then we will have angels around the world that are going to be a part of this channel, and it's going to be a part of this channel, and they're going to build the channel on this channel in their country, so everybody will know about this. So what I'm trying to do is get it out there, get it around the world, and get around the world's ideas and people from different walks of life, from different areas. Now, the police can only go on their area, right? They can only do their jobs in that area. So we're not going to interfere with the police. We're not going to phone them up and say, we think it's this and this is why. We're not there to do that. We're not interested in that part. We're interested in them finding the girl. We're interested in why. But what we're more doing is using theories and ideas and scenarios to what could have happened, who could have done it, and why we think they could have done it, right? So there's no suing, I'm going to sue you because you're saying it's me, because that's guilty, right? So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so if you want to be involved in that, that's no problem. The only thing you'll get blocked is if you attack somebody else, or in the stream, or you say, oh, that's stupid, or you can't pull anyone down. You have to respect everyone's ideas, everyone's emotions, everyone's faiths. We've got to respect everybody and what they think and why they think. And if we feel that some of the information they've got is wrong or not correct or something like that, then you can correct them in a nice way. Like, hey, look, this is why I think you're wrong. And because you said it's this, but I don't think it's this, I think it's that. And we can discuss that on live streams and stuff. You can also put it in the comments down below. That's up to you. But we're not going to interfere. We are not going to find the people, okay? We're not going to do like detective work or anything like that. We're just a load of people who are human beings who have our own ideas, our own theories on different cases, and we're going to do one case at a time. So this time we're going to do Summer because she's a special case. She's took the hearts of the nation. So anyone around the world that wants to be a part of this, you're more than welcome. Just subscribe if you want to be a part of the channel, where you want to build the channel on top of this channel, so you'll have sister channels and brother channels and stuff like that. Then yes, that's fine. We can talk about that. We're going to call it the 7 Angels. So 7 Angels channel 1, 2, 3, and 4. And yeah, so we're going to discuss your theories. Nobody here will be judged. So if you think, oh, it's the mum, and the reason why I think it's the mum, you're not going to be sued for that. Say what you need to say, okay? Because we're only a theory group. We're only a mystery group. We're not a group that's going to say we're going to find her, we're going to get together and be detectives or police officers or anything like that. We're just going to say we're a bunch of people who are getting together from around the world to do this, right? So that's what this channel's about. So if you're interested, and it's all mysteries, all stuff, because a lot of people, like the police and all that lot that are involved, they always have to follow rules, whereas people like us don't. They always have to be careful what they say, how they say it, because it can damage, like it can damage if they arrest someone, they can say, well, because you said that, we have to release them and let them go. But we're not part of that. So therefore we can say what we like, when we like, and how we like, right? And as long as we've got a bit of decorum and we support each other, and if someone says something that might not be correct, doesn't matter. It's whatever they think. It doesn't have to be correct or not. It's just what they think. It's just too many people have been shut down and told, be scared to say anything. Don't say anything. Don't accuse anybody. Don't do this. There's lots of YouTube channels, but not one of them stands there and goes, actually, I think it's them because... And I'm sick and tired of people saying, I'm going to sue you. I hope they sue you. I hope they sue you. No. We're not here as police officers or anyone else. We're here as human beings with our own thoughts, our own feelings of what's happening. So with Summer Wells's case, there's so many things that it could be and where she could be and what could be happening. Why would you stick to just, let's stick to the facts and nothing else? Because sometimes the facts that you're collecting from people are lying. They're lying to you, and you can't see that, but you can, and you're too scared to say. If someone sounds dodgy, then say it. Say, oi, she sounds dodgy there. He sounds dodgy there. I think they've done this, that, and the other, and then we can look at that and support each other, because we're not here to find Summer. We're not here as police officers or anything like that, because we can't be. We're too far away. All we're going to do is all get together and chat about it. So if you're interested in that, then you're more than welcome to come. The only thing I ask you to do is respect each other's thought process, respect each other. And if someone's got information that isn't correctly correct, that they didn't understand, then say, look, you didn't understand it. I think they meant this. Right? Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to say what you think. Even if it's out there and say aliens come and I think it's aliens because of this, then say it. Say it. That's what this channel is going to be about, for you to have the freedom to blame who you like. If you think the mother's done it and you say, this is why I think the mother's done it, then say it. Do it. Show me. They can't sue you, because at the end of the day, we're not anything. We're just people talking. So it's not like we're phoning the police saying, hey, we've got evidence, it's this person or that person. We're not interfering in police things. We're watching them, what they're doing, and we can discuss whether they're doing it right, wrong, what could they do better, what they could do worse, what are they doing. Interviewers that are interviewing, like the parents and that, if you want to slag off CPS or social services, give it all you've got. Give it why you think the children should have been removed sooner. Do you think that if CPS came sooner, because they were supposed to come that day, wasn't there? And the only reason why they didn't come the next day was because someone went missing. So therefore, did they think if someone goes missing, then they wouldn't take the children? They'd feel sorry for him and say, oh, look, we can't take the boys away. Now they've just had the daughter kidnapped. Could that be the reason? Someone said in one of the interviews that she works with CPS, and they were told if anyone says to the Welleses, we're coming to pick the kids up on that date, you'll be sacked. You'll be in serious trouble, because they didn't want it. So our CPS thinking that they did that, they hid Summer to stop them taking the boys. They sacrificed Summer so she can keep her boys. Could that be a way through? Do you see what I'm saying? It's just a bit odd that everything's happened and a lot's happened on the day before Summer left. So we've got to figure out is Candice that busy all the time during the day? Or was that just that day? When CPS was coming that day to pick them up, was it to pick them up, or was it to see if they were cleaning? Now, she said the boys were at home cleaning, and she took Summer out because she had to take her mum to the hospital for pain meds for her leg, right? Although I don't understand it, because if your leg hurt and you've already got a doctor and you've already had it done, normally you phone your GP and get, you know, painkillers from your GP, and then your GP would send you to hospital. Has that happened? Do we know? Does anyone know? That's what we've got to talk about, right? So hopefully we don't have another crash, okay? So here we go, okay? So I'm going to wait till a few people come in. Hopefully a few more people come in. I don't care if there's one of us or 50 of us or 1,000 of us. I don't care if there's 50,000 of us or half of us or just me, right? I'm still going to be doing this. So you're more than welcome to be part of this family. And you could tell me if you want to be a mod, let me know. If you want to be a director, let me know. You're going to be part of this channel. And even if you just want to be a subscriber and just pop in now and again and say what you need to say because you're busy, then by all means, pop in now and again. There's no money. It's free. You can be who you are. You won't be judged here. Anyone gets judged, the person who judges will be gone, because we don't need that. We need people to be free to speak their mind, free to speak the way they think and feel and why they think and feel it. Because I always believe that an answer is always away from the box. And unfortunately, because we're brought up believing in the box and everything has to fit in the box, and if it doesn't, this is why I feel so many people are still missing, because the authorities and that have a certain way of doing. Each human is different. So instead of adapting to the human, the family, the people, they don't. They keep to this protocol. And if it doesn't fit in that protocol, then, you know, if it doesn't fit, then that's it. They're not going to think outside the box. We're there to think outside their protocol. We're there to sit there and say, okay, CPS couldn't take the kids because, even if we think it's stupid, then we say, hey, it's stupid. And if we have to change the law or try to, then we'll just get a petition and try and change the law. Why not? Why can't we do that as a group? I don't see. Look, I'm going to show you something now that's going to be dead funny, right? But just wait then. I wanted to get it before I come on, but I'll get it now. I've got this theory, right? Now, I'm autistic with learning difficulties, right? So I'm going to sound a bit different and stuff. Please pull me up on anything if I'm stuttering or changing and I need to get back on the subject. But if I showed you something, I showed you this and told you this could make you a millionaire overnight, would you believe me? Would you believe me if I told you that this pen could change your life in one fell swoop? Would you believe me? I'll tell you why. If you've got the skill and the gift, you put pen to paper, you can write a book, you can write your memoirs, you can sign to say you've won the lottery, you can use the pen to do the lottery numbers and win the lottery and be a millionaire overnight. What I'm saying is, life is complicated because we make it complicated, right? People say, oh, I'm poor, I'm never going to be rich. People say you're going to be stuck in this situation for the rest of your life because you were born in this situation. Yeah, all it takes is you could be whoever you want, whenever you want. You can be rich or poor. So, and the reason why I'm saying this is because Candice keeps going on and Don. The reason why I'm being picked on is because I am poor. How the bloody hell can you say you're poor? It's a crock. How can you be poor? Well, look at me, it's the way I live. Well, that's your choice. That's not because you're poor. That's because that's your choice to live that way. But it's not the kids' choice to live that way. You're forcing them to live that way. But that's your choice, and that's your husband's choice to live like that, and that's your mother's choice to live in that caravan like that, your RV or whatever you want to call it in America. But you're not poor because you have a pen and paper in respect of you've got a house and loads of land. There's nothing stopping you using that land and making it into something to earn money. You could have diverted that little bit of land you've got in your garden and actually got the kids to dig and make little allotments, and you could have had like fruit and vegetables growing and stuff like that. But you've got land. I've yet to see a pauper with land. You've got a house that's all paid for. You have 3 vehicles, not 1, not 2, 3 vehicles that you're affording. You drink and take drugs every single day. Where are you poor? People say, oh, look at their house, they haven't got much. Well, I'm not being funny, but that's their choice not to have much. You could go down a second-hand shop or a flea market or something like that, and you can pick something up. It doesn't have to be like the most expensive equipment, but you could still pick it up, a second-hand one that nobody wants no more. But you choose to take drugs and spend the money, your hard-earned money that your husband's earning, on drinking drugs. You're not poor. Give over. You could have built. Your husband works in building stuff, so he could have got building materials cheap. You could have started building your kids a bedroom each on that property. You could have made that property into a lucrative business if you wanted to. And the only difference is the fact that you won't get off your arse to do it. You prefer to sit at home, let the kids run around wild, and you sit there and just take drugs and let your life go by. And that's your prerogative to do that. But don't sit there saying people are picking on you because you're poor. People are picking on you because you're crap parents. And don't give me no religious stuff and say, oh, I'm religious and all this lot, when you're beating your wife up not 2 months previous and she had to call the police on you. You've got illegal guns and stuff. You're sitting there going, poor me, why is God punishing me? What do you mean God's punishing you? Your daughter, your 5-year-old daughter's missing and you're worried about your God punishing you. What God would punish a 5-year-old innocent child? I'm not religious, but I'll tell you something. Anyone who prays to a God that can do that, something wrong with you. You're crazy. You're nuts. Hi, guys. Hold on. Let me just get you. Welcome to the stream. So we have Hillary Wayne. Welcome to the stream. I hope you got some good ideas and some juicy gossip for me. We are a gossip channel. We are whatever you think that's happening, say it. Whoever you think's guilty, say it. and tell me why. Okay? So I'm just going on at the minute. So about Candice and her interview with Chris and how she says, woe is me. And I was wondering, why isn't no one asked Candice, why didn't she use her vehicle to take her mum to the hospital? It was more comfortable than her mum's. Her mum's an older truck than hers is. So her mum would have been more comfortable in a brand new car than in a really old truck. So why didn't Candice drive her car? Why her mum's car that day? Because the next day she was seen driving her car. So, you know, nobody's asking that. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that that's a bit weird? That she would take an old vehicle, her mum is in pain with a knee, and she takes an older vehicle that the suspension and everything's going to be more painful than if it was in a brand new car. So hi and welcome to everyone who's here. Like I said, you say what you want to say. If you want to blame Candice and say, I know it's Candice, then good, do it. Say it. Because this channel is going to be for you to speak your mind, for you to put the pointing fingers on why you think it is. Right? I'm sick and tired of watching channels saying, I really want to say it, but I can't say it. I really want to say it's this person, but I can't say it's this person because I'm scared to be sued. Sod off. You're not scared on this channel. You're protected. Say what you want to say. Right? I'm sick and tired of these spineless people that have a lot to say and then stay quiet, and then when the child is found dead or whatever, they go, I knew it was that, I knew it was them, I knew it. But why didn't you say anything? Right? So I want it to be put down. So if the police watch this or searching for someone watches this and they say, actually, that person on there is right, or that person on there makes sense, or that, then fine, take it and go and find her. We're not into that. We're here, this channel's here to spineless, and the people here are going to say what they want to say, and they're going to accuse whoever they're going to accuse because they have evidence to accuse them. And if they think, well, I think it could be this, don't be frightened, say it. Because at the end of the day, we're not involved with the police here. We're not in that square box where we have to say what we mean, say what we have. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lisa Smith. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Just say what you believe. Look at the sister, the stepsister, and the niece, right? They come out with the truth, and everyone's having a go at them, and I don't understand why. I don't get it, right? They said they know him better than anybody else does, right? They know Don better than anybody else because they've been with him since he was 4 years old. The girl was born into that family, and yet everyone's going, no, it's rubbish, it's rubbish. No, it's not. Why would they come on and say that to Don? What possible reason would she have to lie? She wouldn't. There'd be no reason. All she wanted to do was protect the cousins. And they've probably been phoning CPS or social services or whatever they're called in America as long as they have. Hi, Myers. Myers Painting. Right. So Candice's car. Right. Exactly. So Myers has just said, if you haven't read it, that Candice's car could have GPS on board. But couldn't the phones already have GPS on board as well? Like, because the Candy said their phone's not that much good, but her mum's phone could phone in the wilderness 999. So if that's the case, could not then that mean that the GPS could be tracked? And did Candy's mum have the phone on her? Because she went into hospital, did she just go in and then call from the hospital phone to say, come and get me? But see, this is the type of people I like to see on the stream. Someone who thinks outside the box, who sits there and goes, I think it's this. Yes, that's brilliant. No one would have thought that. But you're right. And does anyone know if the police hadn't even looked at that? Because Candy said, I can go to my phone right now and pick up and show you that H has got loads and loads of TikTok. How's she go to a phone? I thought it was taken, all of them were taken off him. Do you see what I mean? But GPS, it would bounce off the, off all the phone things, innit? That's how they find a triangle. Well, you know what my theory is? You know why the dogs couldn't find any more than the bottom of the hill? So here's my theory, right? Summer, right, was playing downstairs. CPS was coming, right? And told them, clean up your act. So she left the boys at home to clean, according to Candice and everyone. So this is what makes sense. Right? She said she left the boys at home to clean while she took Summer out. Now, Summer being a 5-year-old, if the boys touched her toys, because she loved them, she would have gone ape. And she wouldn't have been letting them touch them. She'd be screaming, pulling the toys back out. You know what 5-year-olds are like, right? We've all got them. So what's happened here is, I think what's happened is Candice has got really, the boys are shouting, Mom, she won't let us clean, or she won't let us do anything, or whatever. So Candice has started shouting. She's run downstairs because she's got no shoes and socks on. She's run downstairs, got frightened, gone out the door, and her puppy was with her, had come running round, and they've both ran, right? And they've gone into the woods. Now, I think where the dogs have smelt her, she's run down. Now, in the spirit box, she very clearly says that I saw Mummy's truck. She got out and shouted at my puppy and told him to go home, right? And she was mad. I made her mad. So what if Summer saw her, Candice, jump out the car, say, Summer, once I find you, God help you, like this. She said to the dog, get home and stuff like that. Because the baby would know how angry, if anyone's been in abuse, you know when your abuser is going to hit you hard, soft, or is really angry. And you just know that you're going to be in for it. So what if Summer double backed? What if because her mum went down that way to turn, she thought, oh, I can get back home, and tried to double back? Because I think she was running towards the school teacher, that teacher, right? I think she was going that way towards that way, or going back to H's house. Right, so I think that's what was happening here, and she was quickly stopped because her mum said, if you look at the interview with Chris, her mum was very clear and said, stop. Like I jumped in the car because I was so panicking, and I went down the hill. And Summer says the same thing, but Summer says she was chasing me and I was scared that she was going to hurt me. Now, Summer's scared of bears and snakes, so whatever made her angry, she knew she was in for a good beating. Now, the kid's 5 years old. It's not going to know, well, CPS is coming, so she ain't going to beat me up very much. She's 5 years old, right? And look at who her parents are. It's not like she's going to have a high intelligence to understand things, right? So I think she doubled back. And that's why when the dog sniffed, they smelt to the bottom where they all stopped, and where Summer was stopped by a mum in the car and the dog got sent back. And I don't think, I think she ran back the same way because she knew there'd be no snakes or that there in her mind, because she's 5, and went back that way. That's what I think, why the dogs have said it stopped at the bottom. You just, okay, so Hillary says she's not sure. I've really gone back and forth. I'm now thinking that she didn't do it. She just seems to open in. Yeah, listen to this, right? Have you ever seen a sandwich and it looks good, right? The sandwich looks good. It looks great. It smells great. It's an egg sandwich. It smells great. It smells, and you're starving and you're eating. It tastes, but then all of a sudden, 24 hours later, you're vomiting, diarrhea, and rushing to hospital, and they're saying, oh, the sandwich had bacteria in it. It's the same thing what's happening here, right? There's too many how can I put this? There's too many victims in this situation. So everyone's trying to be the victim. Instead of it just being some of the victim and everyone else being like, could be the perpetrator, we've got victims. So we have Candice, who's a victim of alcohol, drugs, abuse herself and her family, her mum not being a good mum to bring her up. So we've got that. Something attracted us to Summer from her pictures and stuff like that. So obviously we're sensitive to abuse and stuff like that, right? So you've got the sad story of the mum, the grandmother. You've got the sad story of the father. Oh, what was him? He lost his mum when he was young. He grew up. His dad like married someone else, and so they're all. If you look at it, if we put it in tactics, they're all victims. From the kids to the adults to the perpetrator, and even rapists and murderers are all victims in some time in their lives. What stops us being victims is the fact on how they learn to use it to attack and make another victim. That's when they stop being a victim. So reason why everyone's confused is because when they see Candice, they see her as a victim. As the woman that was beaten up as a young kid, the woman who's just lost her sister the same way, the mother who's lost a daughter. So we start associating her as a mother figure. Whereas if we didn't meet Candice, we could then make a proper assumption of who she was by her behaviour. If it was just a sheet of paper and it told us what she was like as a parent and what she was like, what she'd done everyday life as an adult, you wouldn't be confused. But because Candice has been let to show you that she's a victim and she was a victim and always been a victim, then that means that you have that, because everyone wants to nurture victims, everyone wants to protect a victim, right? Everyone wants to. So if Candice shows you the victim Candice, right, then you feel sorry for her, right? You don't know why, but your instincts, you just feel really bad for her. And then what happens is when you find out, say she did do something, then you're going to feel, that's it. She made me feel like she was a victim. And in fact, she wasn't. She's still that victim of her childhood and that, but she's a victim that's caused another victim. So she no longer now is a victim. Does that make sense to you, why you're confused? Do you understand now why you're confused? So the reason why the interviews got everybody on Candice's side, and that's why they do the interviews. So you look at, hold on a minute. Oh, hello? Good, because I'm on YouTube live. 1 minute, guys. Give me 5 minutes, okay? Okay, go on. Okay, look, I've got people going and I'm losing people. Bye. Sorry, guys. I just reason why that phone call, I had that phone call was because I've got a few people in prison, and they always phone me at different times. And I was asking a paedophile. He's a horrific paedophile. I can't tell you who, obviously, but I wanted to ask him. You know how Chris at the interview room had showed where, because Candice and her husband, right, Donna, saying that she's been adopted by paedophiles that are around the area, right? So, and I said, could there be a chance that you could hide her in the shed and then come back later for her, like knock her out? And he said no. So I wanted to know why. So I'm sorry, but I had to take that call. I wouldn't have took it. I wouldn't have ignored you guys unless, but I needed to know. So I'll let you know about what happens afterwards. So what I'm trying to say is, with Candice, she is a victim. So is the father a victim in childhood, because we're all victims in childhood of something or another, right? We're you know, that's just nature at the minute. Okay, so right, them dogs would bark. Yeah, but sometimes when the dog is hot or exhausted, they just, oh, I can't be bothered, because they're drained, because there wasn't no water out for the dogs. Did you notice, Lisa, there was no water out for the dogs? Nowhere. And she said the only water the dogs, oh yeah, the water's down by the creek. There's not much water. So the dogs would be thirsty if it was hot. So my theory was, if we could get like cameras on the dogs, this could be a way to find Summer if she's on the property. If we could get cameras on the dogs and the kittens, you know, the little ones where they can't feel it and it'll be on the collars or on them somewhere, and then watch them at a distance on the TV monitor or something, and monitor where they go in 48 hours. Because if Summer's body's somewhere on that property in a shed or somewhere else, then them dogs are going to be there because it's her pack and they won't leave her side. So I've got a service dog guardian, as you know. So when I'm in hospital and I passed out, when I come to, if I'm outside and I come to, guardian is with me. You will always, and even if people are walking past and guardian wants to play, he won't. He stays with me and he keeps touching me and licking me and moving me, right? So if Summer was there, what if the dogs are going to visit her body, and that's why they keep going into the woods? Now, don't forget, there's bears, there's snakes. I've got more details on what kind of snakes there are and that, and what kind of bears. The only bears there are the black bears, right? And at the minute, there's between 540 and 840 black bears, because they were coming extinct, and they reintroduced them, right, in 1992. So what happened was they started breeding them and introducing them. They reckon within 10 years the population could double. But since 2019, the people there, the Wildlife Federation there, says that it was between 840. That includes the cubs, the parents, and that. So yeah, and there's five different types of poisonous snakes, right? So let's see. It said, what did she say? So she said the poisonous snakes were. So these are the wildlife, right? So you've got the hogs, the coyotes, the black bears, the snakes, right? But the most poisonous ones, which is the timber rattlesnake, the copperhead, the cottonmouth, and the rattlesnake. And you've got the Majorqua, I think I said that right. That's the deadliest out of the lot. But you also have the non-venomous snakes, which are more, right? And they say it's the Prior King snake, the Pickle King snake that eats venomous snakes. That one specifically eats venomous snakes. And then you also have the Western black rat snake, which kills rats and mice and eats eggs. Right? So Mother Nature again does a beautiful thing and gives you poisonous stuff and then gives you good stuff. Now, the hogs and coyotes, there's apparently an overbreed of hogs at the minute in that area. But apparently the black bear's behavior is, out of all the bears, it's the less likely to approach any human. It also likes quiet, right? So they will break into a property with food and stuff as long as it's quiet. So here's the thing. Candice has got food everywhere. You've seen the property. It ain't the cleanest of properties, and it's easy for the bear to get in through either one or the other. The windows are covered with silver stuff, so they could just rip it open. So why don't the bears attack the house or attack the grandmother's property? Because there's food in there, there'll be rotten smelling food, there's cat food, dog food about. So why wouldn't the bears come on? Well, that's simple, because it's either busy all the time with humans or it's busy with animals. You imagine, would you go in with a pack of wolves just to eat food? You wouldn't, would you? Your survival. So there was pictures of a black bear and a hog fighting each other, and the black bear was starving, it was trying to drag the hog up, and both of them were screaming. The bear was trying to pull it up like this, and the hog's going, ee. So if the bear tried to attack Summer, she would have been screaming, but so would the bear. You would know she was being attacked by a bear, right? And the mum said she rode down that hill as quickly as she could and had the brothers out and had everybody out. You would hear the attack of the bear. The bear, when it attacks the black bear, it screams, it shouts, it growls, right? The dogs would have barked because one of their pack members. Now, I know about animal behavior. Believe me, I do, right? And so I can't see the wild animals attacking Summer when they're scared. If someone's running and the dog's running with her, and there's obviously other dogs. That's the bit I can't understand. There was how they could say she was taken. It makes no sense, because they're saying, well, he could have hid in the bushes. How could he if the pack of dogs were always around? How could anybody hide anywhere? She said, Candy said that small hole place, that cave thing. She said, oh, we've got pups in there all the time and dogs in there all the time. And we've got some in there now, right? So they would have been more vicious. So if some guy decides to wear balaclavas or whatever in the heat, and then some guy says, right, I'm going to hide here. Like, say it was just, let's say it was the guy that cut the tree cutters, right? Say one of them decided to come back at 5 o'clock after they left, and he thinks, oh, there's a young girl here I'm going to take, which doesn't make any sense. It goes underneath there where there's puppies, and a stranger comes to the puppies. The dogs are going to think that they're going to steal the pups, and the dogs are going to rip them apart. I know, because we have service dogs, but what we don't do is have a service dog mother. So if people are breeding service dogs, like, you know, the professionals, they won't let the mother be a service dog because she has aggression, right? So mothers, if you've got a dog, you'll understand. Mothers for the first few days get really protective over their newborns, don't they? So there's no way a person could hide under there unless they knew who it was. And if they didn't CH for a year, which I think's a load of crap, but if you didn't CH for a year, then, you know, he's a stranger. Dogs don't keep that memory. They need to move forward. Dogs are always moving forward. If they stop, they go hyperactive. So they move forward constantly. That's why they can forgive people who beat on them or kick on them. It's not that they forgive, it's that they don't remember, because they're moving forward all the time. They're about what's happening, not about what's the past or the future. They're in the now all the time. Animals are always in the now, right? So I think if they can't find Summer by manpower alone, then I think that all them dogs on that property and them cats should have a small camera, and they should just let them go and see where they go in them woods and what they do and where they are. Because if someone's body's in them woods, they will know where it is. And they'll be sitting there with her. They won't understand about Summer if she's passed away. She could have been drugged up, didn't know what she was doing, was scared, heard Candy's voice, was scared, because we're only getting what the spirit box, what she says it was. But she could have been just, you know, and she heard. Have you ever done it where you've done the gas and air and that, and you've gone all woozy and everyone sounds really weird? So it could have been that frightened her, and she's run out the door and run. But she keeps asking where her shoes are. Now everyone's saying she had shoes on, but Summer's adamant she didn't have no shoes on. So, do you know what I mean? So, but what I'm worried about, I'm going to tell you, there's 3 key players that I think is dangerous here. I think the first one is this David Dodson. This guy is only 3 months' friend from the church. So how long have actually the Wellses been going to this church if he's only known them for 3 months? Right? He's one of the ones that I've got a question mark over. And reason being is, when he did an interview with one of the YouTube like main channels, I don't want to mention them in case they don't want me to, but you can see the interview. He said that the video Candy showed him was the video of the brother and Summer swimming, not of H. He went, no, it was the 3 brothers and Summer. So either Candice got so confused because she was so panicky that she just showed him, oh, look, there's the water one here, look, and run off somewhere else and just showed him to look on there. Could be, but he didn't say. He just said, no, she was adamant that was that was the video. So there's something about him I'm not too happy with, right? The second one is H. Now, H is a 15-year-old boy, and I think he's being set up. And I think H is being coached by Candice and by his mum to say different things. And I think the kid doesn't want to upset his mum, but he doesn't want to upset Candice because Candice gives him drugs. Candice gives him alcohol. You know, he's a big boy in front of his girlfriend. If he can give him some alcohol, yeah, I can get you some alcohol. You know, he goes to his mates. Yeah, I can get someone to get you alcohol. I can get someone to get you a bar of like TCP, whatever they call it, the drugs and that. Yeah, no problem. So he wants to keep Candy sweet as well, doesn't he? Right? So that's what makes me believe that H. On top of that, there's a photograph. Now, nobody's saying when that photograph was taken, but all we know is Summer's haircut was cut 2 weeks after her granddad died. Right? She had long hair then. So 2 weeks later, she went missing. So it was in between them weeks. H said very clearly, I don't know about her haircut. Like, I didn't know. But yeah, he's at the background with a gun and she's got her head shaved with a puppy. And I've seen the puppy, and the puppy's only a few months old. And there's another thing. Where's Summer's pup? Candice, look, here's the thing. Candice showed, right, so here's the thing, right? Let's look at Candice's interview. This is why I know she's not as innocent and she's trying to portray herself to be. Candice showed only what she wanted to show, right? So every time the interviewer, Chris, turned around and said, oh, I'd like to look there. No, you come down here. So when he said, I'd like to go around that way. No, you come down here. So he took it. Oh, she was adamant she wanted to show me exactly how it went. How does Candice know how she got down them stairs? How does Candice know she didn't go round and went through the door? Because according to Candice, she said it wasn't open. Candice was very clear and said she didn't know whether the back door was open or not. So how does Candice know she didn't run out the front, went around and then went into the back. How does Candice not know that? Right? So Candice was adamant to show him what she wanted to show him. So she was being manipulated, right? She was manipulating him. So when he said, can I just go around? No, 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 you come down here. If my husband can do it and he's 6 foot, you can do it. So he was going, oh, she just wanted me to make sure. No, no, no. She was manipulating you to make sure that you go where she wants you to go, because that's what she's been told to do, right? And if you don't see that, there's something wrong with you, mate, because that's what she was doing, right? But how would Candice know after their daughter went in what happened after that? Because she couldn't say where she went downstairs. She said the boys said, Mum, she went into the basement, but they didn't say how she went into the basement. So she could have gone out through the front and thought sod it and went round the back, and that's why she thought she got in trouble, because she'd come out without her mum's permission, right? So Summer could have gone round the back and then opened the door and went in that way, just as much as she could have climbed down and down. And why would a child climb down? That's a bit dangerous. Wouldn't you lock that off during the day? Because climbing down there, it looks a bit dodgy, doesn't it? You know, for a 5-year-old who's tired, who keeps falling over when she steps. If you look in the church videos, when she steps on stuff, she keeps losing her balance as it is. Can you imagine losing your balance on them steps? It'd be very painful. So I feel that H is being set up here, I reckon, but I also feel that H has been there before, right? And the reason why he won't tell his mum is because, see, it's his mum's had the argument with Candice, not him. So, and it's his brothers and sisters, and he can get stuff from Candice. But when Don's family things and everyone's having a go saying, no, he's not like, how do you know he's not like that? They know more than we do, right? Don's family knows more than we do. His sisters know more than we do. His stepsisters know more than we do. So we should let them guide us with their words. But a lot of people just want to block him off. No, he can't be like that. No, he's not like that. No, you only know him because right? Everybody in this world lets you see what they want you to see, right? No one in this world will let you see everything straight away, right? So whether they trust you to trust you, it'll take time for them to trust you, right? So everybody will only show you what they think. It's a survival technique in the human, right? So Don will only show you what he wants you to see to get into that group. Because if he went into the church and said to the church minister, oh, by the way, did you know that I raped my sisters when I was younger? I've been arrested loads of times. I'm a drug addict. I take drugs. I take alcohol. I tried to sell my oldest son. He's now in prison. He says I've abused him. I'm an alcoholic. I beat my wife up. I'm always jealous. I kick the shit out of my children. My first wife left because I battered her. Could you see, like, are they going to say, yeah, please, you and your family, come and join our church? When there's loads of vulnerable people in here that is here. No. So he's only going to show, look, I've done things in my past, not much, but I've done a little bit. Yeah, we've all done something, and I want to be forgiven, and I want to be like a godly person now and a Christian, but I'm still going to judge everybody, and I'm still going to tell everybody they're all wrong, and I'm still going to tell mediums that they're evil and they're from the devil because the Bible says so. No, the Bible doesn't say so. The Bible just says, be careful. I'm sick and tired of bad people twisting religion for their own personal gain. It really wrecks my head, because this is why people who could have strength from the Bible, I'm not religious, by the way, just for to let you know that, but in the way people think religion is, and I don't follow normal everyday religion, but what I'm saying is religion is about love and strength, and and to give to others and to help others, and in turn you will get help back, right? That's what religion, in my eyes, and what I think it is, right? So when you have someone like Don turn around saying, there's Satan, I'm not speaking to them, why won't you speak to the only medium that is registered, that helps the police, that has always found missing people? Why won't you? Why won't you? Why won't you? I'll tell you why you won't. Because a medium can only do so much at a distance. But once they get close to the perpetrator or close to the people, then she's going to know everything. So Candice will go to a medium. I want to speak to you, so she can show that she's looking for a baby and her daughter. And I get it. Look, at one stage, I was watching Candice, and if I didn't know about abusers as much as I do, I was in that environment. I was in that environment where the mother looked innocent and the mother looked like she wouldn't, you know, she's gone through hell herself and it's all the kids' fault. And if it wasn't for the kids, they would have a life. I've been there, right? So I've seen it, how people have believed them over the children. When I've seen it, where you go up to a police officer, say, I'm being abused, and they bring you back to the abusers and they're saying, oh, look, I'm having a cup of tea with them. They're very nice. They're very kind. And you've seen the other side of these people. And then you never go and say again, and you have months and months or years of abuse because you're scared, because that nobody's going to believe you, because everyone thinks this is a lovable person. Everyone thinks she's a kind person or he's a kind person. But I've been there and I've seen them. I've seen it, right? And this is why I don't buy Candice, because I see it. Now, I'm not saying that this was done on purpose. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying it wasn't. What I am saying is Candice had something to do with it. She could not have, right? There was the boys, Candice's mum, and Candice. That's a definite. That's a tick, 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 tick 1,000 times, right? So whatever happens now, or whatever happened to Summer then, you can't change that. Candice mums, Candice brothers, and Summer was there. At that moment of Summer going missing, they were there. Now everybody's trying to say, I think one of the boys could have done it. What makes you think the boys have done anything? Yes, they're rough and tumble, but yes, they could have got upset with her. But if the boys did something, then they would have said something when they were interviewed. And don't forget, Candice wouldn't let them be interviewed. Both parents said no. When the police asked for the boys to be interviewed, they said no. The only way they could go against the parents was to take the children away, so they could do their own investigation, and the social worker would be their adult. They would have an advocate. So I don't think the boys were taken away because of what Don said. Oh, the boys are being taken away because people have said something on YouTube. I don't even think that they did their jobs properly and took the kids away because of the state of the place and the property. I think they were ordered to take the kids away so the kids could be interviewed. That's what I think. I think the kids could be interviewed. And because Candice and Don refused, and the police cannot go against the parents under the age of 18, the children. I know that in this country. I don't know about America. If you guys know in America, please let me know. But in this country, you can't without parents or guardians' permission. And Candice and Don had the right to say no, and they did say no. So I personally think the only reason why them boys were taken away at that time, Because if not, my reasoning, they should have took me away a long time ago if it was because of the state of the house, right? They should have took me away for the drugs and the alcohol and stuff, but they didn't. They were faffing about for some reason. The poor neighbours kept phoning and phoning and phoning and phoning CPS and phoning them constantly. You know, you had people saying she's beating them up and putting them on the floor with burns and all this lot, right? Again, no one, Candice doesn't have to show the children or Don to CPS. They don't have to. CPS would have to get a warrant to see the kids. So I reckon the only way they could interview them children was to take them away. And now they're going to court. They would now have to prove to a judge that the parents aren't taking care of them and stuff like that. So once the judge takes away their PR, which is their parental rights, then the police can talk to the children and the police can interview the children, because it'll be up to the state whether they're allowed to do that or not. And I think it's the only reason why they were taken away. I really do believe that the kids were taken away because Candice and Don wouldn't let CPS see the children and wouldn't let them be interviewed by the police. They kept saying no. I know that for a fact because I phoned up NAST and they said they haven't been able to interview the boys yet because the parents, the exact words were, the parents are refusing access to CPS and access to the police. Now, when I asked, did you speak to the grandmother of the boys? They said, we can talk no more, put the phone down on me. The grandma's breaking. She's going to break. The grandma knows and she's going to break. Now, Candice's sisters Rose, in one of the, I will be doing a live spirit box session, but not yet. I've been told I'm not allowed yet. So this is why I'm only going on, like, I don't know why that others are allowed to do it online, but not me yet. I don't know, maybe because they're closer and my spirit box sessions could mix up things. I'm not sure, but they'll let me know when I'm allowed to. So, yeah, I just want to know.
Decade ago, most of us had never heard.
I was shut up this morning. Right, I just want to know. The only reason why I think CPS took the kids off, the only reason why I think they took the kids off was because Candice wouldn't let the police speak to them, the boys. Now, a lot of people are saying that Summer didn't make it home. Yeah, I do too, Lisa. I believe that the grandma's going to break, and that's why they sent her away. I really do. Because everyone knows of COVID-19, right? And everyone knows that even people have got hip operations, cancer and stuff like that, they don't just call you in after a few days to give you an operation. There's millions of people waiting. There's cancer people who are dying because they haven't had the operations they need to survive. So they're keeping her away. But I want to know why the police would let her go away. Why wouldn't they stay where you are to put her under pressure so she can break? Do you think the police stay in that situation? Because the further away she is, she can pretend it's forgotten with. What do you think? I just think it's a bit sussed that the grandmother's disappeared and the grandmother done loads of interviews when Rose went missing. But Rose has told me what happened, and I believe Rose. Because Rose is with Summer's granddad. And he's really, really peeved. Because did you know, I don't know if you know, but did you know that Summer's granddad left Summer everything and left it in a trust till she was 18 so the parents couldn't touch it? Did you know that? He didn't leave nothing for Candice. It was all for her, for Summer. Just saying. People are saying that they're feeling sorry for her. I get it. I do. But I was part of that abuse when I saw the abusers, and everybody loved our abusers. Me and my brothers, everybody loved them. Kind, gentle, next door neighbours, men helping. The abusers were helping, like they were police officers, and one was a priest coming over. Do you see what I'm saying? It's no, I'm sorry, but I can see why people could have changed their mind about Candice. I can see it. But abusers are very good at being victims themselves. And if you heard what she said, Chris said in the interview, did he not? He said, at the end, he had tears in his eyes. He said, at the end, Candice said, why is God punishing me? That's not what I would have said. I would have slapped her and said, get over it. Why would your God kill a 5-year-old baby and make it go through hell? What I would be asking is, what did the baby do to deserve parents like you to? What the bloody hell? The only good thing about all this was the fact that they were allowed to grow up in the wild and allowed to grow up in Mother Nature and with their animals and stuff. Well, why would she say that? I would have slapped her if I was there, I tell you. Oh, woe is me. And then you've got Don going off drinking. I had to get away from everything. I had to sit there and pray and bugger off. You should be out looking for your daughter. You should get a tent, get some water, and start doing inch by inch and getting in the tent and spending inch by inch, day by day, every single moment. I don't care if I was sweating to death until you find your child, because that's what I would have done. I would have said, right, you lot carry on doing what you do. And if anybody told me, by the way, you can't go looking for your kid, I'd be like, you want to step out my way? You would have to lock me up in a straitjacket to stop me. You would. I'm sorry, but you would. And anyone would be knocked down. That wouldn't stop me. I would get a tent. I would get a load of stuff together. I would go, right? Excuse me, my alarm's gone off. Just give me a sec. This is an alarm for my blood pressure and that blood test. 1 minute, guys. Okay, sorry about that, but I have medical conditions that my blood pressure goes. Because I'm upset, you see, because I can't believe that she pushed it all onto her and about her. And then Don, I can't cope with this. I need to get away from public. I've been told not to do the public. I've been told this. So why is Don not allowed to speak to the public, but she is? Why is Don not allowed to have interviews, but the same solicitor that they've got says that Candice can? Is it because Don's not convincing because he wasn't part of it at first? And I believe that Don wasn't part of it at first, but I believe that he knows something now. I really do. And I believe his family, what his family says. Like I said, no one knows Don better than his family, better than his stepsisters, better than his stepmom, better than his dad. Nobody. And I believe them. I really do. And they're willing to do anything to prove what they're saying is true. And the only reason why they've come out is to protect them children. But I don't think the CPS took the kids. You rightly say it is a motive, but the thing is, what we need to find out is, would the money go to the mum and dad if Summer died of natural causes? Because I believe the dad, Summer's granddad, I believe he knew that that Candice did something to his daughter. I really believe he knew, because he said, here we go again. She keeps doing this. There's a few mediums on there that have said the same thing and has got exactly the same. I've had exactly the same thing word for word as what they got, I got. And the grandpa keeps saying, Don, stop it. Stop it now. So what does that mean? What? Stop what? But every time I ask that he doesn't answer. But they're telling Don to stop what? And somebody keeps saying, Daddy keeps leaving me. What does that mean? Does it mean that what she means is when she was alive, he left her because of work? But I think the granddad knew that his daughter was murdered by his other daughter, Candice. I really do. I'd love to know how the parents split up and when they split up. That would be a good... People say it's not the point. People say... I'm telling you now, Rose Bly's missing body has something to do with Summer. They do connect. And I don't care what the police say. I'm not interested in what the police says, to be fair, because they just follow a box and routines and all that, and that's why they can't find people. But that's why I wanted to set this up, because I'm sick and tired of the police just following protocol, not going out the box. And the only time people solve murders and that police solve is when they go outside and do something different. That's what I think. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to start the Angel channel up, the Mystery Angels. Hello, Lady Blue. Welcome. Yeah, it's definitely... And I'll tell you something. Can you imagine, right? Put yourself in the shoes that you've got away with it poisoning your sister already 9-10 years ago. No one can find it. She was only going 25 miles out. And from there, she's disappeared and nobody can find her. So you imagine, just let's say it's right, and just let's say the spirit's right, and Candice made them all sandwiches, and the sandwiches had poison, right? And it was the mustard had poison. You wouldn't be able to taste poison like rat poison or anything like arsenic or anything, because arsenic has no flavor, no smell. So if you put it into something like, especially mustard being a strong smell, you would not be able to know that you've been drugged. If you've got sleeping tablets that are bitter, put it into mustard and then try it, and you'll see you won't taste it, because the mustard becomes bitter. So you just use that, especially French mustard. It's a bitter tasting thing anyway. So if it's right and the spirit of Rose is right, and she was dosed up to the point where she couldn't move or anything like that. She knew what was going on, but she was just paralyzed. She couldn't move, and said her sister killed her and poisoned her. And Summer said poison as well. Now, kids think medicines are poisonous because they taste disgusting, don't they? They go, ugh. So, you know what I'm saying? So, something's not right there. When in every spirit box people do, every single time, they mention poison. And when Candice was asked about that drink, where is that drink? There's no way the mother could have drank that drink, all of it, right? So say it is the mother's, just let's say. She already had that twisted tea, didn't she? Yes, you're right. Arsenic is sweet. They used to... up to 1986, they used to use it in a lot of like children's tablets and stuff to make it sweet so they could take it and stuff. And it was outlawed in the UK. Yeah, and yeah, because once a spirit knows what it's talking about, a lot of spirit boxes and a lot of mediums will come out with the same thing. So we're all on the same vibration. Doesn't matter where we are around the world. We're all on the same vibration. So what happens is you just call the person, and then your guides will guide them to you, and your light will guide them to you. So if they like the look of your light, they will come down and they will talk to you, because it's like zip, zap, zip, zap, zip, zap, zip. Time. There's no time continuum. There's no anything like that. where they are, right? A blink of an eye, it could be 10 years to us, right? So that's, do you see what I mean, Lady Blue? So once you start getting a lot of mediums saying the same thing over and over and over, it means you're going to get caught, because every medium now, it's on the same vibration. So everybody that's going to link in will link in. Everyone who's got, if you're sensitive, have you ever gone to bed and then woke up and gone, gee, I've got this headache and I don't know why, or I've got this choking fit. For some reason, I just started choking and nothing happened. But then you hear a few days later that someone died in a fire or something, that on the other side of the world. And that's what's weird about mediumship, is the fact that it's a lot of different levels, because it's a lot of different vibrations. And I don't know what I am, because I've had it since I was born. So it's normal for me. Sometimes I see him, sometimes I hear him, sometimes I feel him, sometimes I have dreams. And the next minute I see it a few weeks later on TV, like the aeroplane crashes and big crashes of school buses and screaming children. And I'd wake up sweating and shouting, oh my God, oh my God. But then I look for days and it's like, oh, there's nothing. It must be just my imagination. And then next minute, a horrific accident would happen. So, but it's in the other side of the world. So I'm like, well, why tell me? You know what I mean? If I can't help anyone, why are you punishing me by telling me this if I can't do it or stop it? But sometimes I just connect into that vibration, and the people that are supposed to know about it, they'll get told more. Whereas we just, you know, imagine a power cable and the electric that goes through the power. You have the start, don't you, that clicks in. Then you have the power cable. If you were to cut that power, it will break the electric, wouldn't it? And then leak out. So that's similar to us. Like, we're all in this electrical current. We're all mediums. We've all got souls. We've all got spirits. We're all connected. But because in childhood, a lot of people say, your imaginary friend, your invisible friend. And parents convince the children that that's all that is. And then we will open that does like stuff. So when people's parents imaginary, it's not real. It's not real. What happens is you start believing it. So then when you start seeing and you start feeling things, it's like, oh, it's fake. Oh, I must have saw a shadow. Oh, it must be my eyes. There must be something wrong. Oh, I must have eaten bad cheese. Because your parents will give you that excuse. You've just carried it on. Do you see what I'm saying? And other people have the gift, but they're so scared of it. If you've got the gift, but sometimes people could be so scared of it, because they see the horror films and all that lot and the demons and that, and think, oh, I don't want that. So they shut themselves down and they go, it's not there, it's not real. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. And then they look and they go, oh, it's gone. Thank God for that, right? Have you ever done that? Something go away, I don't want to speak to you. You're not real, you're not real, you're not real. And then you go and you think, oh, they're gone. They're not. They just think, all right, fine. I wasn't going to hurt you anyway. I just wanted to talk to you. But if you don't talk to me, bugger off. Lady Blue says that would be mediumship against it. Oh, hold on. That would be mediumship abilities. There are groups that teach you. The thing about, when I went to see one group, it didn't make sense to me. And things kept happening, like my car kept stopping and my caretaker got sick and I just couldn't get to the group. We set it up and I couldn't get to it. So obviously I wasn't meant to do it. But I don't know if it is mediumship, because I sense things, I smell things. Sometimes I can feel something happens and then it happens. Do you know what I mean? And apparently I don't fit in the box. That's all they say. So I just accept what it is and what it is. If it's black, it's black. If it's white, it's white. End of. You know what I mean? I don't class myself in the box. I'm autistic and I've got learning difficulties. If you don't like it, tough, bye. I can't do anything with it. And to be honest, if someone said to me, I can cure you, I'd be like, cure me of what? Cure yourself of it. If you're worried about my autism, that, cure yourself of that. You know what I'm saying? I've grown up with it. I am it. You know, this is who I am. Lady Blue says, the world's religion is highly against it. But see, the reason why religion is so against it, Because I know some religions, like I know vicars and priests and Catholics, who half of them are saying they're against it, and the other half is saying, actually, I'm not against it. But to be honest, does it matter? As long as things get done and people don't get hurt, it don't really matter in my eyes. If a medium sits there and says, and you know, it's not like these mediums are saying to him, if we find your daughter, you've got to give us money. Are they? They're not saying, you know, like, you've got to pay us and give us £300 if we find your daughter, $300 or $30,000 if we find, you've got to give us the reward if we find. They're not asking for anything. They're just saying, can I come on your land? That's what they're saying. Can I come on your land? And can I talk to you? Give me 5 minutes. If they weren't true mediums, they wouldn't ask that. And to be honest, what devil, what demon, right, would try and find a child and save the child's life? It just doesn't make sense. Using your clue like that is mediumship. Oh, right, okay. A psychic gets. Well, actually, Candice spoke to some mediums, apparently. Candice has already spoken to some mediums, but they're unknown. So they're not speaking to, so, oh, right. See, that's what's confusing, because one of the mediums turned around and said, look, you're speaking to other mediums. Why won't you speak to me? So I just assumed that they were speaking to other mediums. Yeah, but let me ask you guys a question, right? Be honest. If your child was missing, would you care if the devil come up to you and said, I can find your child for you? Wouldn't you sell your soul to anybody just to get your child back safe? I know I would. I wouldn't care if it was a demon, devil, evil, what? If a paedophile called me from the prison and said, I know how they got your daughter and I know where they got her and she could still be alive, you think I wouldn't go up and talk to him? Although I want to kill him at the same time? Of course. You would do anything. You would go against any belief just to get your child back. You can't breathe without them, true? Exactly. So why are they only allowing a certain people in their land and not allowing others in their land? Why don't they say, look, I want my daughter found. I don't care whether you're black, white, green, purple, blue, alien, demon, God, angels, psychics. If you think you can find my daughter, then come. We'll make a date. We'll come and try. Why wouldn't you? Why would you wait and put them off? Why wouldn't you say, just come and find her? I don't care how. Go in there. She seems determined. She's driven. Like, as a medium, I'd do anything for my babies. Exactly. But then again, I think you'd be the type of person also to do for other babies as well, right? That's why this is important, this case. Because the adult human nature is to protect the young. That's what we're here for. Regardless whether we have natural children or adopted children or whatever, it doesn't matter. That's why we can care for, if you have an adopted or foster child, you can love them the same as you would love your own, right? And that's because we have that natural nurturing, that natural protection in us, male or female. We have that. It's very rare not to. And that's why I couldn't understand why Candice and Don are sitting there saying it's against our religion, it's against this. For a start, so is drinking against your religion, so is beating your wife up against your religion, but you still did it. And you can't tell me you've changed in a matter of days. That's, you know, I would give my soul up to anybody who could bring my child back. I would take the place of my child. In fact, I would take the place of any child. I would say, take me instead of that baby. Even if I didn't know that baby, because that's what we do. That's what we're about. Do you see what I'm saying? So why would you just sit there saying about religion? See, if Don was really religious, right? This is what pisses me off, right? And I'm sorry for swearing, but this is what pisses me off, right? If Don was that religious, then why would he keep drinking? Why wouldn't he get help? Why would he beat his wife up because she had the foreign man in? Does anyone know when she actually did that? Phone the police and get an injunction out on Don and that. It'd be interesting to know what date that was, wouldn't it? Considering that's the Mexican who they had the big fight and the big fallout over. Because according to Ali, it was December. That'd be a good thing to look at. If anyone of you got that idea, could you put it down in the comments? Lady Blue says, it's suspicious for sure. Yeah, I've tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. But, right, let me tell you guys something. You can give people the benefit of the doubt, but not be a pushover. You can give people benefit of the doubt and not be a spineless person and say, yeah, all right, I'll lick your ass until I think, you know, there's enough evidence. We need people to stand up and say, look, you're guilty till you're proven innocent. If someone said I was guilty of something, I would do my damnedest to prove that I wasn't. Wouldn't you? If someone accused you of something so horrific, like child abuse or something like that, the first thing you would do is make damn sure that people knew that you didn't do that sick thing, right? Don's not. Don never said he didn't do it, did he? Don never said he didn't do it to his sisters and his stepsisters. Lady Blue says, if they really believed she could be trafficked. You know, I looked up trafficking, right? There was an Indian girl who was trafficked by where I live. And she's now in her 30s. She's got a beautiful daughter and she's becoming a doctor. And I was talking to her and I said, do you think Summer would have been trafficked? She went, no. And I went, why? And she went, reason being is Summer's too hot. I was like, hey? And I went, what, you mean like heat hot? You know, autistic. Someone says the hot. I thought the hot. And she went, no. If someone in a small town goes missing, a child that goes missing in a small town, it would set off, especially 5-year-old and under, it would set off a great big thing like it's done now. They wouldn't do it. They just wouldn't. The traffickers go for more like adopted, foster children who the parents don't care, and times, you know, if they go missing for days on end and stuff like that. Traffickers get mostly their friends and women to bringing the children. And a 5-year-old is going to be more hassle than what it's worth. They're going to be crying. They're going to be in a state. They're going to be screaming. They're going to be, do you know what I mean? And traffickers want money fast and want to move children in and out as quickly as they can. But they also want to do it where people can say, oh, I need that kid to do sewing. I need that kid to clean my house. I need that kid to do this around the country. There's no way, like, you can manipulate and sedate a child at a certain age and say to them, listen, if you don't, I know where your mum and dad is and I'll kill them and I'll kill your family. You know, you can't say that to Summer. She'd sit there and go, because she's 5. And she's that type of person, isn't she? That if someone turned around and said, okay, my daddy will beat your butt up because my mummy can beat me up, so she'll beat you up. My doggy will bite you. because she's into that Paw Patrol. You see what I'm saying? And she'd be like jumping around, and even the teacher can't teach with somewhere around. How the bloody hell are they going to keep her quiet for 5 minutes? Her personality wouldn't allow that to happen. Right. The parents look like they need money. Right, Lisa, but they don't. How many of you in this chat right now has got loads of land and a house that's fully paid for, and the land that's fully paid for? You tell me how many of you have got that. Look at the land, how much that land is worth around. They could sell a bit of land off if they wanted to. And if they haven't got money near that poor, how the bloody hell are they affording to take drugs every day at 5 o'clock and drink constantly all night, and every day? How? How have they got 3 trucks that are gas guzzlers? Here's the thing, guys. They're not poor, they're lazy, right? See that house, right? Let me ask you a question. If I gave you land and gave you a house, right, and said, here's that house, and gave you the Wellses land, what would you do to it? Would you let it go to waste? Look at all the scrap. Look how much money you could make on the scrap alone. That big bus and all that lot, right? Remember they already sold in that week the black car. Don's black thing that he had, right? Don't forget also they had people running around buying them food all the time, so they didn't need to spend the money on the children's food. So anything Don made was used for drugs and alcohol, right? Yeah, 11 acres, right. So what would you do with 11 acres? Exactly. Brand new car. They have 7 trucks. This is what I'm saying. They're not poor. They just portray themselves as poor because that's what they want to do to get away with what they can get away with. Like, you've seen, right, your children, right? Have you ever seen your kids who said, right, tomorrow morning you're cleaning this room up and I don't care. And then they wake up and they go, I got a bellyache. I don't feel too good. My leg hurts. Oh, look. And they hobble around. This is what the Wellses are doing, right? People are saying this, now you've got land, now you've got cars, now you've got this. This is the way you've got to behave. This is in society. They don't want to be part of society. They don't want to behave like society, which is understandable. You don't have to, but in their world, you do have to, right? Because they're in a small community. So everyone has to help everybody else because it's a small community. And you want to be part of that. That's the way you've got to behave. So they portray to be, because the more you pretend to be poor, the more richer you're going to be, because you won't have to spend your money because everyone else is spending it. Look at Ali saying, I was down Primark every day. I was down there and I was shopping for the kids and buying them food. But the teacher was saying she was buying them food, and on a Sunday they would go up and get them food. And even the day that summer went missing, the church brought a load of food up for them and the boys. So if they've constantly got food coming in from other people, Lady Blue says, I believe it's his own business. You don't have to be positive. If you believe that, then good. That's good. That could be. There could be a way. You don't need proof here. That's the thing. If you believe it could be his own business, you're more likely right. You're more likely that he's a drywaller that does things under the cuff for a bit of money, so he doesn't have to pay taxes. Because I've never heard of them paying taxes. They've never mentioned anything about taxes or money, have they? People have just assumed the poor because they don't buy materialistic things. But they don't want the kids to have the money because the kids are going to grow up and go away. And then what have they got? They'd rather spend it on themselves. You know, when we have kids, we spend everything we've got on kids. But she made it very clear at that thing. Oh, every time I go out and I've got a bit of money, I buy it on the kids. So how are you getting drunk every night then? If that's true and you're buying everything for your kids, why does your house look like that? Why haven't the kids got nice beds? Why haven't you built another room at the back, a safe room, so the kids can have more room? If everything's done for the kids, then why haven't you got a better area for them to play in? Why haven't you made the gardens into nice little gardens and give them like fruit and vegetable gardens so they could have something to do and something to grow and be proud of? Do you see what I'm saying? A couple of seeds isn't going to cost much money. A bit of area for the child is not going to cost them any money, and they can grow. They said that Summer loves gardening, right? She would have loved to have herself a nice little like vegetable patch or something. She has got, definitely, Ali has got an axe to grind with, because apparently Jose was, right. So do you know about the phone call to the police? Do you know that Candice called the police? And it wasn't on her mum's phone, by the way, it was on her own phone. Called the police because Don come with a gun, drunk, and saw that Jose was in the house with Candice. And he thought she was having an affair with the bloke. And he started trying to beat the bloke up. The bloke pushed him out the way and ran out. Candice's mum shouted, "Get in the car." And she drove him off to protect him to wherever she went with him. And then he beat Candice up. Then the police was called, and he had two guns. He had an official gun and an unauthorized gun in the car. And you're not supposed to have it in the car, apparently, but he's a felon. He shouldn't have had an unlicensed gun, but he got away with it. These people get away with it. This is the point. This is why they're cocky. This is why he doesn't want Candice to talk to the police. They're going to set you up. No, they're not. What possible reason could they have to set you up if they can't find the baby? The whole point is for them to find the baby. They don't care who did it. They just want to find the baby. Do you know what I mean? They haven't got no preference on who they're going to arrest that did it. Whoever did it will be arrested. But unfortunately, because they're so in the box and they've so got to do the rules and they've so got to say what they've got to say and not say what they've got to say, and they're too scared to say anything, nothing ever gets done. We run around in a circle. But if they could think outside the box like we do, and if we could say, okay, this is what I think's happening, this is who I think's done it, and this is what I'm going to do to prove it, then there'll be more people found. But they're too scared. We're going to get sued if we say it's that person and it is. Look, if you accuse me of something and I say I didn't, I will prove I didn't. And there's no evidence that you did something bad if you didn't do it because you weren't there. Do you see what I'm saying? She should have had a beautiful garden. She should have. Can you imagine how much she would have enjoyed getting up every morning and going out there, watering her vegetables and her fruit and watching the fruit trees grow and picking them and doing a wild patch with wildflowers? What? How can you call, right, a desert flower? It's a plant for a start. A cactus is a plant, not a flower. So when Candice was asked, well, where did you get the flowers from? She said, oh, no, my mum wanted to pick them, but I told her not to because I didn't want to get into trouble. But yet you break the law drinking alcohol and driving under the influence. But that's okay. But you won't break the law by stealing a few flowers. Right? Anyway, she pisses me off sometimes. She really does with her words. Exactly. Lisa Smith says they're trying to find his daughter. Weird how he says they're trying to set him up because it's victim versus victim. He feels he's a victim. Candice feels that she's a victim of God and a victim of punishment and a victim of life. And you're not poor, you're rich, you can afford to drink. How many of you can afford to work and drink every night? I know nurses that work for the NHS in the UK that have to go to the food bank after work to feed their children. And sometimes they've collapsed in front of me when I've been in hospital because they haven't eaten for days, because they can't afford to pay. And they've got one car between the whole family. They've got two family working. They can't afford to drink, let alone bloody well go out and buy drugs and stuff like that. That's poor. That is poor. You tell me how many of you can afford to waste money like that when you've got kids. You can't waste money like that drinking. You're just drinking your life away. You know, and that's your prerogative. But if you're going to have kids, you can't do that. You've got to follow, you know, your kids. And CPS did not take them kids away because of the way they are, the way they have, the way they're acting. They took them away because Candice and Don have both refused to have them interviewed by the police. And Candice stopped the CPN talking to the children on their own. She locked the doors every time they come past. So they left her a note saying, we're coming back to look at the property. The property better be cleaned up. You better clean up your act. On the same day that Summer went missing. I'm just hoping that they weren't stupid enough to hide Summer in a heated area with no food or water, because they're not feeding the dogs. They're not giving the dogs water in the dead heat. So I don't know how they're going to, like, you know, put Summer in one of them sheds, keep her quiet, keep her sedated. Don't forget the mum's gone and the grandmother's gone. No painkillers. It's easy enough to keep a 5-year-old sedated and just give her some soup and stuff once a night. Has anyone actually ever been allowed on the property? No. Where's the camera? There's a camera on the property. Everyone noticed it because everyone said it's to do with the TV wire. So I asked an electrician to have a look at that picture. It's not TV wire. It's definitely a camera. And it leads on to Summer's bed and that lot in the kids' bed. So when they're in the other room, it comes on their TV and they can see what the kids are doing and they can see what the kids are doing upstairs. It's connected and wired up to 2 things from upstairs and comes down into that room and into this, so they can see what the kids are doing overnight, because the kids are upstairs in where the kitchen is. And if you look where the kids' bed is, they've got a fridge right there. And already people are saying, have they got a fridge? Have they got room for a bigger fridge? Have they got power for a bigger fridge? People are already feeling sorry for them and going to buy in brand new fridges. Have you seen that fridge, how much that fridge would cost? They've got an old generator there that's worth quite a lot of money. They're not interested because they're not fighting for money. Lady Blue says, I'm glad I just never liked it. I'll take a shot a few times a year if I can't sleep for several days. Yeah. No one's judging. No one's judging. Look, weed and marijuana versus the drugs we get from doctors is less dangerous, but it's not controlled. So therefore, people don't know how much to take, how much their bodies will take, and that's where it goes wrong. But that's the only thing I have against marijuana, is the fact that it should be made legal so people can understand their body types, their body weight, and then it can be sort of like saying, right, edibles, right? Most people would try and eat an edible for pain, and they won't know how much to eat by the weight and that. But if it's regulated, there could be a little thing on there saying, right, and then instead of drug dealers cutting it with other stuff, they could make a purer version that's not dangerous at all. But, you know, it's better than morphine. Morphine has all these side effects, and yet edibles don't. Once they've gone out your system, that's it, because it's a natural thing that Mother Nature gave us. It's a natural painkiller. Morphine's not. Morphine started off as a natural painkiller, as cocaine, as the poppy, but then they cut it, they molded it, they sweetened it, they made it into a painkiller and drugged us up. And there's loads of side effects. Every time the reason why the government, I'm not going to go too far into the government, but the reason why the government gives us medication is so they can keep supplying us with stuff. It's not about making us better. It's about managing it so they can make us. So by the time you finish with a painkiller, you're going to have all these other medicines to counteract. So it's bringing in the money. Ching, 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 ching. But if they were to give you natural remedies, natural food remedies, natural remedies of marijuana, natural plant medicines, stuff like that, then you'd be got your pain under control with no side effects. So what else could they give you but that? They would lose money. Hold on, Alexa, dismiss. They would lose money. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's their reasoning why they don't want to make you better. They just want to make it manageable and give you as much as they can for each person to carry on with the money. It's just life fear. Yeah, no one can go and they don't allow anyone to search because they're worried that they might stample on stuff, but it's already too late. Candice and Candice's mum, within minutes of phoning the police, and the police said, don't let no one on, already, before she phoned the police, already called the guy and the teacher and got the church to come up. I've got a theory for you. Do you just want to hear it? Let's see what you think, right? What if Candice was angry at Summer and Summer ran off into the woods? And what if the mum went down and frightened her to go further into the woods and she got confused? And then everyone went round town saying a 5-year-old girl's missing and there was paedophiles listening in a shop or on a corner or something. It's the Wells's kid. It's Summer Wells, the 5-year-old, and they're in her church or something like that, right? And they thought, oh, she's missing. She's gone into the woods. So, of course, they've told them where they've gone, and the paedophiles have gone in. What do you think? So at first, the paedophiles didn't steal her, but then heard about Summer went missing, and they went, instead of going up to the house, they went straight into the woods and found Summer. Don't forget, they're predators. And if they would have heard Summer hurt, or they would have been already there, they could have gone there in the dead of night and just listened and heard Summer crying or hurt herself, say she's dropped. Because Summer said, I dropped, I felt like falling, and then my legs hurt and my knees and my back and my head, I got head pain, I'm stuck between the rocks and it was dark. So if she woke up, and that's what her spirit said, so if she woke up in the dark, and then she's going, hello, help, I'm cold. And the paedophile, they were out there hunting for her. Could that be possible? Yeah, they do. They have several very close. But like I said, everyone's panicking, shouting, a 5-year-old girl's missing, Summer's missing. Because let me tell you something. To me, the boys were left alone for a very long time. From 8 o'clock in the morning right through till about 5, wasn't it? So if the boys were left alone, if anyone was going to steal, any paedophile was going to take the children, they would have took the boys because they would have been an easy target. There's no parents home. They were on their own for hours. They didn't know when they were coming back. They're not likely to use a gun. They could have been an easy, they were sitting there with the door wide open. They could have drove up, grabbed the boys, smacked them over their heads. It's easy enough to do. A couple of big fellas, a couple of big pedos, took them away in the car, gone, like that. And did you know that most of the paedophiles around that area did it to males, not females? That's why the police are saying it's definitely not a kidnapping, because of that. But what if there was a couple there in town or in the church when there was a calls coming through, quick, someone's missing, she's ran into the woods, over there was the last time they seen them. And because predators, like if I'm a hunter, right? So if I got a gun and then I gave somebody who isn't a hunter a gun and said, right, we're going to go hunting and we're going to find a chicken in the middle of a great big woods. We're going to find a wild turkey chicken, right? So I'm going to get in there and I'm going to know what to look for, what smells to look for, what noises, what wind, where to go, how to do it, which breaks, where they live, where they would eat, where they would sleep, where they would poop. And I'd see their poop, right? Because I'm a hunter. But this other person will stand there with the gun and go, you want me to shoot what? Well, how am I supposed to do that then? Aren't you going to tell me how to do it? Do you see what I'm saying? So if a paedophile hears that a child is missing and there's more of them than one, they could flood them woods overnight or day, could flood them woods. Why everybody's up at Candice and they're all shouting, she's going, Summer, Summer, screaming there, calm down, calm down. They're not going to hear Summer screaming. Someone's like looking, thinking, oh, I'm going to be in serious trouble here. And she's looking at her mum and seeing that her teacher's there and everything else. And she's thinking, oh, and then someone comes up behind her, boom, bye, you're gone. Down that hill, you're gone, out. So Lady Blue says, also, yeah. I mean, has he, do you know if he's got a wife? And how quick did he go up from the phone call? Because everyone said he was up there within like 3 seconds of Candy's phoning. He phoned the teacher, told the teacher, and he was up there. He said it wasn't even a minute. So it was almost like either he knew the phone call, he was about to go up there for some reason. What do you think? Right, listen to this. Did or did not Don say that H said that Don said that there was a man touching, fiddling kids? Takes one to know one, right? I wouldn't know a paedophile just by looking at one, but another paedophile would know, a predator would know another predator, like a hunter would know another hunter, right? So, how did Don know that this guy that was camping was a fiddly, a kid fiddler? How would he know that? Yeah. Do you know why? Right. You know, when I'm autistic with learning difficulties, right? So when I get anxious, right, I do this a lot, right? She could have cystitis. Because she's a girl and she's not, that she might have weed herself overnight and it dried on her. But I think she had cystitis because she was very agitated down that area. If a child was being abused, they wouldn't touch that area. They wouldn't want people to look at that area. Trust me, I know. You wouldn't want people to look at that area if you were being touched like that. You wouldn't. And she didn't behave. She wasn't quiet. She was open. Do you see what I'm saying? I think, to be fair, if she would have been about 6 or 7, the same age as the sisters were, I think Don's love would have changed. I really do. I think because he's a bit skewy of things. So, but 5, I think she had very severe cystitis. I really do. The way she was agitated and she was pushing it down, and her mum said that she had Summer's cushion under Summer because her mum didn't want her to wet the seat. So, and we all know that Summer didn't wear them clothes when she went swimming. So the only way you could wet the seat is if you weed yourself, right? And she did drink a lot that day. So I just think that if she's weed the bed, if you've seen the state of the bed, it was all yellow, and I think she had cystitis, and I think it was really hurting them, burning, because you could tell she was forever doing that, wasn't she? It like she wanted to give it a good itch type thing. That's what I reckon. I'm not a doctor, but if you're being abused, you'd keep quiet for a start. You wouldn't go up against the teacher because the abuser's right there. And it happens where you know that if you get close to someone, the abuser looks at you, because they say anyone you get close to and you love, they're going to kill. So you just don't get close to anyone because you're scared to, because they don't want you getting close to someone and telling someone. So they use that technique. If you get close to someone or you tell anyone, I'll kill them. So you don't, to save them. You see what I'm saying? And she was very close to the teacher. She was on top of the teacher. She was around the teacher. She wanted her saved. She wanted her to save her. She wanted her to be the mummy. That's because she is a mum, and she wanted her to be the mummy. She wanted her mum. She chose who her mum was. Unfortunately, she didn't have the verbal thing to say, I want you to be my mum, because her mum would kick her ass. Because her mum was too busy sleeping and smoking and, yeah, man, peace, man. And okay, Lady Blue says, no, Dobbs doesn't. Oh, he doesn't have a wife. That's funny. So he said so it was him that said he was in a hotel. So where was he camping? Lady Blue, where was he camping exactly? Do you know? Because that'll be interesting to find out where he was camping, right? Because they're saying there's no way a predator could have took her because they would have had to hide her, then come back. But if he only lived in that area and he was camping in that area, there was nothing stopping him to sedate her or something worse, and then put her in his tent, and then bugger off and come back, and then take her to the hotel. But if you're camping, why would you go to a hotel? Because it was at warm days. It wasn't like it was raining or you were about to have a flash flood. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't make sense, does it? So does anyone know anything about this guy's history? Like, has he been in trouble with the law before? Is he married to male or female? Doesn't matter. Has he ever been married? Has he got kids? Why has he moved down there? Because I've seen a lot of people actually move from certain areas down to this quiet rural area, including paedophiles and that, and lawbreakers. So I'm wondering, because, not being funny, but I don't know why, but everyone in the spirit world keep mentioning a preacher. But I don't know what a preacher is. Do you know what a preacher is? But they keep saying, keep an eye on the preacher. What is a preacher? I'm from the UK, so we don't have anything like that. I've never known a word like that. Is that a prophet or something? Anyone know? Can you leave a comment down below? Anyone know what a preacher is? Or what they're supposed to do? Because the spirit boxes keep mentioning this preacher to watch your back. And even the tarot cards are coming out with preachers. There's something about a preacher. I wonder if Dobbs is a preacher. Or what, is he an ex-preacher? I wonder if they're talking about Dobbs. You don't think, hey, Lady Blue, do you think that Dobbs, Candice and Candice's mum had planned to kidnap Summer because they were coming to take the kids that day, and took Summer so there would be, like, not meant to hurt her or anything, but they took Summer, said, can you kidnap Summer because we're going to lose our children? What if the church was involved in that? What if there was a plan? Just hear me out, right? What if there was not a plan to hurt the children, but Don and Candice was so frightened of losing their kids, and there was no way they could clean up their act and stop drinking and going into drugs? That would have been too hard work. It would have been easy just losing one of the kids. Now, if they lost one of the boys, maybe they thought, well, they would take the rest of the little ones away. If we lost our eldest boy, then they'll say, oh, it's just run off or something. We'll look for him, and still took the kids. But you take the youngest one away, the baby away, right? They knew somehow. So maybe they've had kids taken off them before, so they know how CPS works. What if it was a plan to use somebody else to take Summer, that Candice would drug Summer up with painkillers because she'll know how much to give, right? What if this? What if this? What if the red truck was actually someone that Candice knew that hired, right? And what it was it was supposed to be innocent. They were supposed to kidnap Summer. Summer was going to be downstairs asleep. Candice was going to then text them and spend it with the mum. and then or Candice's mum texts them and say, right, she's asleep, she's downstairs, she's fast asleep. Because how did Candice know, apart from what the boys said, how would they know which way she went? She's saying he went down the stairs and through. What if she went round the back and round? Well, she wouldn't let Chris do that, and I'm wondering why. So what if, and she said something about a boat, like her boat. Someone was saying he knocked the boat over. I don't understand this boat. She kept saying a bit like, you know, like Hawaii 5-0, them boats. She kept saying he knocked me boat. She kept calling it what was it called? I've forgotten what it was called now. But it was a type of boat. So he stopped, yeah. Right. Would he be on a register list? His full name? Do you think? So I was saying, so to stop CPS taking the children to buy more time, I'm wondering if they set it up, but they have to set it up with a drug dealer or something like that. And what if it went wrong? What if the drug dealer said, no chance? What if was done by Dobbs? What if Dobbs did it? What if Dobbs borrowed that 61-year-old neighbour's car because he doesn't use it very often because of his disabilities? Apparently he doesn't use it very often. What if someone like Dobbs borrowed it, just let's say, borrowed it, and then like took somewhere, but it's gone wrong? That could be another possibility, don't you think? That they planned it so they would stop them taking the kids, but instead the person they trusted actually did more harm than good. The religion. Yep, I agree. You know, they call the Catholic faith, in the spirit world, they call the Catholic faith the dirty faith. They do. So, and it's not because they're Catholic. It's because these people go into these faiths, and then make the faiths look bad. They dirty the faith. Like everything else they do in the world, they see an innocent, kind child, and they take that child and take that innocence away. It's the same thing. They go into being a doctor, nurses, child teachers. They just destroy everything to get their rocks off with whatever they want. Yeah, there's, you know how many sex offenders are in churches? Because you know why? Because they use religion to get out of prison. Look at me, I'm a God-fearing person. I've changed. I no longer want to sleep with children. I want to be normal. I want to be with God. I've found God. God has touched me. God has spoken to me. And they believe these idiots. The spineless cowards live in our worlds today. They really believe them. Look, mate, if you can sleep with a baby, if you can, I don't even know how you can look at a child and think that there's anything there to make you say hello is beyond me. But if you could do that to an innocent child, then you're evil, point blank. You are not going to change, point blank. How can you change? You're hearing a baby saying, please stop it, sir, and then you carry on and rip him open and kill him. Bull! You ain't gonna change. You should be locked up for the rest of your life, and you should be castrated. It should be a law that if you abuse a child and you're found guilty of doing it, you should be castrated. End of. You shouldn't have any rights. I don't believe in criminals having human rights because they don't give human rights to their victims. But I tell you something now, the victims and the victims' parents don't get human rights. They don't get their rights protected. by court or by the law. Only the bad people, the criminals, they're the ones that get protected. Oh, you can't let them sit in a cell that's dirty. You can't. You've got to let them out. You've got to let them have TV. You've got to let them have. No, they never let their victims have any human rights. They didn't care. Why are we giving them their human rights? Why are we allowing them to have a human right? If they are found guilty, done. Castrate them and put them on an island with the rest of them. Find an island, a dead-end island, and give them a fishing rod, give them a bit of fire, and say, you want to do stuff like that, then you're out. Why should we pay for them to stay the rest of their lives sitting there watching TV and Sky and going out and building themselves up and having food? I don't want to feed them. I don't want to work hard so I can feed these people. Sod them. Put them on an island. Let them kill each other. Castrate them. Get them on an island. If they die, they die. Sod off. Get out of our universe. Get out of our world. Go live on your own and play with yourselves. I think the grandma used, I agree with you, Lady Blue. I think Candy sold the painkillers, and the reason why the grandma went down is she probably, if we look at her files, she probably goes down quite a lot to get painkillers, because you can go to hospitals after you've been to your GP and get more painkillers and say you've run out, and they will give you more painkillers. You can trick like that, because have you watched Dr. Narzan in My £600 Life, where that lad was he was addicted to painkillers, and he would go into different hospitals and pick up load of painkillers, and it would be like he would take them because he was addicted. Same thing happening here. Oh, you were raised Catholic, Lady Blue. Yeah, the thing is, it's a weird one with religion. The thing is that if it's right and the universe and spirits are around us all, I don't think it matters where you go. I think a church is there for people who have got nowhere and have got no one. That's what I think churches were invented for, so people could get together and have like a family on a Sunday, have a family day, because Sunday was always family day, right from the 80s and 70s and 60s and that. It was a family day. Come Sunday, everyone gets up, they play games, they do dinner, they sit together as a family, they all come around on a Sunday. That's the way it was in the 70s and 80s and that. So I think church is a bit like that for people who don't have families and stuff, to get together, maybe to meet each other, have something to eat and drink, and and unfortunately a lot of bad people have taken religion and have used it for their personal gain and to frighten other people into doing what they wanted to do, because they're just like that. So you could be a Catholic and be your own Catholic. Find your religion in your religion. That's what I tell people. So if you want to be a Catholic, but you don't want to be the Catholic that is surrounding you, then find the Catholic you want to be. Find your truth. You'll know it. You'll know your truth when you see it. You'll know your religion when you see it. You'll understand your religion. It'll be a natural thing for you. Do you know what I mean? That's my advice to you. Don't just go on the basic Catholic thing. If you want to be a Catholic, but it doesn't fit, then find one that does. Find someone, something, somewhere that does. That's why prophets are sent down. But there is no prophet males. There's a reason why the spirit world don't send prophet males down. There's a reason. They used to, but they don't do it no more. Because prophet males start off being the prophets for the religions, the worlds, and the spirit world and that. And then all of a sudden, they have this thing and they twist like that. And then it's, I've got to marry 15-year-olds and 12-year-olds and 10-year-olds. And it's like, whoa, what happened to you? So they don't trust them. So now only females are prophets. So if a male prophet comes up, they're not from the spirit world. They're not from the good side. There's two sides. There's a dark side and a light side. They're not from the light side. That's a definite. No male prophets are going to come down ever again. They might do from that side, the dark side, but from the light side, there ain't no male prophets, only females. And I think Summer was a female prophet to be. And I think that Candice and Don should have been grateful to have Summer in their lives. And if they would have nurtured her right, she would have made a big difference in this world. I think, anyway, that's my opinion. But you can be Catholic, but be your Catholic. Do your religion. You could be Christian, but you don't have to follow Christianity the way most people tell you to. Do it your way. You know, if you want to help some people and they say, well, you can't help anybody. You can't judge anybody if you're Christian. No, you can. Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. Do your religion how you feel and see it should be done. See the Bible how you see the Bible, not how everyone else is telling you how you should see the Bible. Does that make sense? Just like your children, you have a book that tells you how to bring your children up, right? You have a book that helps you. And then you decide whether you want to follow that book or you want to follow pieces of that book. But in ultimate truth, you are the one that's going to bring up your child the way you want to. Yeah, unfortunately, the devil's everywhere. Demons are everywhere. Bad is good. Good is bad. Listen to this, right? Religion says that animals, when they die, they don't go to the spirit world. So I asked the spirit world because I was very upset because my service dog I've had for 21 years died. And I think she deserved to go, especially to heaven, because she saved a lot of people's lives and she did a lot, including my own. And I turned around and I said to the spirit world, why don't you take dogs into the spirit world? Why aren't they? And they said, they're the only animal that is a true God. And I was like, what? Spell dog backwards. Dog spelled in reverse is G-O-D. What does a dog do? It forgives, no matter what you've done. It doesn't judge you on how you look. Alexa, stop. She's gone nuts. It doesn't judge you. It forgives you if you do it wrong. It gives you unconditional love no matter who, what, where you are. It doesn't matter how badly handicapped you are. Isn't that God? The only animal in the world that does exactly the same as the description of God is the name twisted backwards. Just saying. I'll leave that up to you to think about. Sometimes God comes in all different shapes, forms and sizes, right, guys? What if God is here now helping us by sending us its famous creation? Because dogs help us through everything, help us find things, help us blind people see, help deaf people hear, save people's lives, go to places where humans can't go, love, care, heal. Isn't that what God is? Just saying. It just happens to be the most funniest thing, doesn't it? That a dog actually has the same traits as God. Just saying, you know. It's up to you to decide that, but I'm just saying. That's what I think anyway. Do I watch Sun Bella? No, I'll give her Sloan Bella. Right, I'll give her a look. Really, she said she was a healer. Yep, don't disbelieve it. Don't disbelieve it at all. I really don't. I don't disbelieve that Summer was a healer. I don't. If you look at how many children go missing a day, why Summer? Why did Summer touch a lot of the medium's hearts, but a lot of people's hearts? Why did one picture call Chris? What he said, he looked into her eyes and he said, get down there and help this child. But why? What was it about Summer? Summer, to me, was a prophet, was a healer. She was going to be something special. But again, God gives us a choice. He says, I'm going to allow you to be who you are. What's the point, right, in God giving us doctors, nurses, scientists, stuff like that, and then he has to keep coming down and sorting us out? It's not about that, because he's given us good people and there's bad people here. So the good people have got to be just as strong, right, as the bad people, and they need to find strength. So Summer comes from the light. So she's the new prophet. She's one of the new prophets. So everybody who has a good soul will see Summer. The bad people won't see Summer. That's why I know Summer's not been taken. Bad people can't see Summer. We needed somebody because of all on earth at the minute, all the deaths, all the things, everything like that. And I don't care what people say. There was something special about Summer, because the spirit world's buzzing about Summer. And yet there's been so many kids before and after Summer missing. And yet Summer's the one we have to find. Summer's the one we need the answers for. Not saying that they're not. All kids aren't beautiful and all kids aren't the perfect kids and every kid should be found. I'm not saying that. But something about Summer has gripped the heart of the nation. Lady Blue says, I've channeled animals before when my friend lost his dog. Oh, bless. His dog was so excited. Yeah, because they can't talk and they're getting ignored. Oh, well done. Well done, Lady Blue. Well done. That fills my heart with joy. Well done, girl. Well done. Well done. People don't understand. Just like children, they're like babies with 4 legs, right? And they mean so much to us. When my wife was murdered by a doctor, it was like I'd lost I couldn't breathe. The kids couldn't breathe. And then my service dog stepped up and was amazing. They definitely do. They're definitely there. Yep. Horses. Because I asked Summer. I said to Summer, where you are, Summer? And you got animals? She said, I got a new puppy and I got a horse. I didn't know Summer liked horses. So, see, heaven is earth and hell is what people put you through. And unfortunately, that's the truth. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're religious, doesn't matter whether you're not religious, doesn't matter whether you're religious in a different way than other people are religious. As long as that religious helps, as long as that religion gives comfort, as long as that religion gives strength, then it's good religion. It's only bad religion when it hurts. Religion shouldn't hurt. It should flow. It should be love. It should be care. You know, it's not about judgment. Everyone judges. We have to judge. If we can't judge, how can we stay safe? How can we keep our children safe and our animals safe if we can't judge? If we think a teacher, there's something wrong with a teacher and people say, oh, don't judge that teacher because that teacher's been a paedophile in the past. You're not going to let your kids get taught by a paedophile. So, of course, we're going to judge. And this is what my channel's about. It's about the truth. It's about Everyone has to judge to survive. We have to judge people. We have to figure out who they are first before we can trust them with the most precious things in our life. Surely, everyone's saying you can't judge. If you're religious, you don't judge. It's crock. If you don't judge, then this is what's going to happen. Children are going to go missing. Paedophiles and perverts are going to go into religion and places where they're going to be vulnerable and people are being stupid. You need to judge. You need to judge everything from the environment, from where you are, from who you're seeing, who you're speaking to, who your children are with, who your animals are with. You've got to stay safe in this world. If you don't judge, then you're not going to stay safe. It's that simple. We all judge. I judge all the time. I need to stay alive. So does we all. And if you pretend you don't judge, then it's crock. You're lying. Everyone judges. Even God judges. He has to judge. He can't say, oh yeah, you killed 1,000 people and raped 1,000 children, so you're okay, come up. I shouldn't judge you for that. Crock. Go away. It ain't like that. Life ain't like that. The spirit world's not like that. You're in a dark place. Your soul's dark. It stays dark and it goes to the dark place. Your soul is natural and it's neither here nor there. It's good nor bad. Then you're going to get stuck. But if you're a good soul, you could swear, hit people, beat people up, spit, smoke, drink. But if you're a good soul and you generally help people and generally are good, then your light, your soul's going to be light and light only. I do believe that. And you don't have to make an effort. You just need to be you. That's my opinion anyway. It might be a crock, I don't know. Until I get to the other side, I'll let you know. I'll come back and let you know. I'll put this back on because apparently you can. So if I die, I'll let you guys know. I can promise you that. I'll come back and say, guys, guess what? It's real. Or guys, it ain't real. Don't listen. But Don believes, the reason why I think something's not right is Don and Candice and that religion believes that you sleep. When you die, you sleep until Jesus comes down and resurrects you. So if that's true in their religion, then they wouldn't be frightened to hurt or kill someone, would they? Because they'll go, well, Jesus ain't coming for a long time. I'll be way dead before then, so I won't be judged. It'll be finished by then. They won't even know I've killed them. It's just too open for abuse. That's why I say find your religion that you feel comfortable with, that you feel your kids are comfortable with, and that when they grow up, they'll find their religion. And that's the way it works. But in the end, as long as it's got love in it and care and all the good stuff, strength and all that lot, you can't go wrong. It don't matter what religion. It don't matter what you believe. If you do good, you do good. If you do bad, you do bad. If your soul's dark, it's dark. If it's light, it's light. No matter what you pretend to be, you can't hide who you are. In the spirit world, you can here, but you can't in the spirit world. Exactly. You're super careful. So everybody judges. Everybody. When people say we don't judge, like that Chris on that Chris McDonald on the interview room when he turns around and says, I don't judge. You have to judge. You can't not judge, mate. Don't be stupid. This is why I want to set up this channel, because I'm so sick of the channels saying, oh, I think that, but I'm not going to say it because I'm too scared to get sued. I'm too scared to do this. I'm too scared to say that. I'm too scared to say the word paedophile because of YouTube. I'm too scared to say bad things because YouTube. Go kiss my butt. That's what I say. But I'm autistic, so don't follow me just in case I'm wrong. But I couldn't care. I'm not here to make money from this. It's not my job. I'm not scared. If YouTube cancels me, I'll just make another, keep making another one, another one. They're not going to shut me up. There you go, you see. You have to. And anyone who's good, Blue, anyone who's good, right, will open themselves up and say, yes, here's my history, here's my police record, I'm going to sign so you can do. In this country, we have this thing where they do a deep background check on you from the police before you let them see your kids. You can do it on teachers and that, and you can sign. It's called CBS or something, and you sign it, and then you get it in a few days, all the background, right from when they're young all the way up, if there's any criminal records or anything like that. And you can do it on teachers, you can do it on anybody you want, you can do it on your neighbours, anything, right? And they just sign. So if they're good, they'll say, yeah, no problem, there you go, you can have whatever you want, whatever you need, whatever you want to see, come and see. That's a true person. That's someone who's got nothing to hide. That's who you should let your kids around, because they're honest. But you're right, I wouldn't let my kids around, not even doctors and nurses and that, unless I knew them. Sorry, but there's too many bad people getting into these places where the kids are protected. It's too easy for them now, because they have rights. They have rights to be teachers. They have rights to do that. It happened when they were young, so bloody what? You do it once, it's gone, you're gone. In my books, you're gone. How can you be attracted to a child, let alone that has nothing? I don't get it. And then on top of that, how can you hurt a baby or a child and then say, oh, I don't want to do that no more? You wouldn't have been able to do it in the first place. You couldn't. If a child cries, the first thing you want to do is help them and stop them being in pain. That's what your instinct is. If your instinct is to hurt them and make them do it, then you're never going to get anything better than that. And you need to be castrated. End of. No excuses. Chop, chop, bye. On an island, you're gone. See ya. Go play with the rest of your friends that do stuff like that and kill yourselves. I might sound cruel, but I just don't believe that criminals like that should have human rights. They don't give their victims human rights. So why should they have it, to be fair? And that's why I think Candice and Don should be judged. I think they should be judged because of their behaviour. They don't have a right not to be judged. No one does. Everyone has a right to be judged. I have a right to be judged. I've got nothing to hide, mind. Anyone can judge me as long as you like. But I've got nothing to hide. So that's why I can be judged. And I don't care if I'm judged. And if someone says to me, oh, you're retarded because I'm autistic and that, well, if that's what you think, that's what you think. It means nothing to me, that word. See? Because it doesn't. It doesn't change what I am or who I am. But when you pretend to be someone like Don, a religious, good father, he brings home the bacon and looks after his sons and buys them big, can afford to buy him motorbikes and stuff like that. Doesn't care if they go off the motorbike and break their necks. Who cares? As long as I can give him motorbikes and stuff. He tries to portray to be the best father in the world type thing. And although I'm poor, I do anything. It's crock. It's all a crock. Hiya, Myers. Painting, you come back. Summer moon went missing at the summer solstice. Yeah. I was married on the 21st, the winter solstice. But you're right. Because she's the sun. That's why they called her summer. They were compelled to call her summer, I'm telling you, and call her summer moon. It's no coincidence that she was called two lights, the sun and the moon. And there is no coincidence in this life. There is none. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a state. I really believe that. Everything has a fabric weaving in their destinies. But sometimes other destinies that come in stop the destiny that you're meant to do. And I think this is what's happened to Summer. Because of her fate to be taken away and put into care where children need help, where people need help, where a lot of people who abused and that Summer would help. The parents got selfish and stopped her going forward in that path. And now, because they've stopped that path. See, if you don't follow your path, and you're never going to follow your path because people are stopping you, sometimes you're taken away from that and then restarted again. I do believe that. I really do. Yeah, mine's the 21st of December is winter solstice, and that's when I got married in 95. And when my wife passed away, when the doctor gave her the wrong medication through her drip, was the day Summer went missing and the time Summer went missing. The ones who are going to solve this is going to be that medium. I'm telling you now, that medium that won't give. You know, did you see when they had that visual for Summer? Did you see the medium had a dog with her? Because Summer is attracted to the dogs. When she saw Guardian, oh, big doggy, he's so cute. And Guardian's like, what? Because she was saying it on the I will be doing a live spirit box session, and all I've got is a tablet, and it's going on airplane mode, and you'll see it. It's going to go on airplane mode. It's a tablet, and it's a Bluetooth speaker, and I'm going to place it on a bed, and it's going to have nothing around it, and then you can. And I'm not going to even write anything. You're going to hear it, so you'll be able to slow it down and do what you want with it, and you're going to hear what you need to hear. I am, what's it say? Odd to have a boy named Macbeth from area or any other part of the US. Actually, Macbeth is actually a Scottish female name. It's not a boy's name. It's actually unisex, and it's Mac and Beth, and Beth is a female name. And what had happened was, when the Scots, after the English went to America, the Scots went over there and they put Mac and Beth, because Mac was his name and Beth was her name, and they met. The English Beth and the Scottish Mac met, and they got together and got married and had a baby and called it Macbeth. And it was a female baby. Didn't know that. A little bit of history for you there, guys. His name is Hunter, yeah. Yeah, so what they did was, you know how they call dead people that they don't know John Doe and Jane Doe? I don't know how they do it in America, but here in the UK, they call them John Doe and Jane Doe, right? The same with children underage, they call them Macbeth, because of that union between the two teenagers, Mac and Beth, the English and the Scottish teenagers that got underage and got a child together. Summer hair was shaved. She went missing in summer solstice, yeah. And her name, Summer. I wonder what religion, church practice, all religion. Summer would have stood for all spirituality, all religions. Summer wouldn't have been able to be allowed to choose one religion. She would have been a religion. There is no religion. Does that make sense? Like, all religions together makes no religion. Just the one. See, love is the key. I know it sounds stupid, and I know, but love is the key. And if you've got love in your heart and love in your soul, you can't go wrong in life. No matter how hard life kicks you, the reward, we're at school. Here we're in school, right? And we're learning. When we leave here, that's when what we've been taught is going to come handy. People think what we learn here is what we should use here. It's not true. This is our school. We come here, we learn. If we fail to learn, we come back. You know how they push you back a year and 2 years? Well, we come back. So if we have to be reborn and have to do 2 years and then die, that's the way it's got to be. But I believe that we're here to be taught to help with the spirit world. See, the spirit world can't exist without our energy, and we can't exist without the spirit world. So together, that's why it's got to keep it coming and going. But it's also the bad spirit world. There's the dark side of the spirit world as well. It's one spirit world, but you get the dark side and the light side, and they work together just like we do here. It's like a mirror image of us, but better. Right? And I do believe we're learning here. This is our school. And eventually, once we're done what we need to do, then we'll be called and taken. And then our reward comes once we're on the other side. We become either angels, or we'll become guides, or we will become something. Or we've not done enough and we have to come back. Or they bring us back here. I hope to God I'm not one of them that come back. I really do. I can't do it second time round. It's bad enough first time. Do you know what I mean? But I think the more bad your life is, and how you deal with that and how you come out of that is what's going to put you higher on the spirit side. That's what I've been told and what I've learnt over the years and what I've seen from dying nearly 3 times through operations and that. So I didn't want to come back, and they kept pushing me back. So I'm hoping they don't bring me back a second time, because I'm a first timer here. So let's see, Lady Blue. Sorry, Lady Blue. Let's have a look at this. Lisa, I read you, didn't I? Summer's hair was shaved. Yeah, Summer's hair was shaved, but I tell you why. Because she was being punished. Summer loved being a girl, right? Now, Candice, did you hear Candice say in the first interview, she was a tomboy just like us. She wanted to shave her hair. We've got pictures of her that shaved her hair. Where are the pictures? You've shown us all other pictures. Where's the pictures where she's got a piece of her hair shaved? Come on then, show us it. Because it doesn't exist. Because if it did, you would have shown us it, right? This is why they've shown us H at the back of Summer. Because H turned around and said, oh, I didn't know Summer had her head shaved. Candice went and put up the picture of H behind Summer and the puppy with her head shaved to say, see, he's lying. She's trying to make it so nobody believes H in anything he says. Why? Because H probably got something to say and he's too scared to say it because he'll get into trouble with his mum. You know what 15-year-olds like? He's got ADHD. So he's not that smart. So he's thinking, if I tell my mum that I've actually been seeing Candice, she's going to be really hurt and, oh boy, am I going to be in trouble? So, you know, Candice knows this. Candice knows that she's got H by the bollocks, and that's being truthful. Candice knows this and knows that H won't snitch because she'll just tell his mum. So she's got to discredit H. And every time H was saying something, she went, no, I'm not saying he's lying. I'm saying that it didn't happen that way. Well, then you're calling him a liar. Just come out and say it. But she can't, because then she'll look stupid, hitting a 15-year-old. Right. So a couple of times the abusers wanted me to look like a boy or a girl. So they'll put extensions in the hair. And one time they wanted me to look like a boy. It didn't matter what holes you've got. It matters what you look like to child abusers. They grabbed me and shaved my head right off and shaved it down. So then they could put on different hairstyles and different colours that they wanted. Some like my face covered, others didn't. You know, it's just, that's their preferences. And it was easier just to shave the head and then put wigs on. It was easier. Right, sorry. So Lady Blue says, Mary, I tried to look up Shakespeare's Macbeth. That's different to see if there was a meaning to it. But right. Macbeth was actually when Britain came to America, when the UK came to America, it was way before Shakespeare. Shakespeare was a real character, and he was a playwright that wrote plays. Macbeth ain't real, but he took that from the playwright of The Man and Woman. If you actually read the play, Macbeth play, you'd be like, makes sense. Do you see what I'm saying? So Macbeth it's not the word, it's the play itself. It's Old English, it's the play itself. It's English Beth, and Mac, which was a Scottish bloke, is called a Macbeth when they got together. Do you see? Yeah. So, but actually read Macbeth. Actually, or watch the movie, or because I can't read, I watch the movie or I listen to audio. But if you listen to Shakespeare, I think he saw the future before we did, because there's lots of things about murders and parents sleeping with kids and kids sleeping with parents. And I just think there's a lot of that going on. I really, really do. And it's amazing how it doesn't matter how far back in our history you look, today it's still exactly the same. I was watching a 70s program. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called, because I don't know where you're from, but I'm from the UK. And I watch a lot of UK sitcoms from the 70s, 80s, and that, because I missed all that when I was a kid, because I was locked up for many, many years. So so it's called, it was a bit racist, and I think it's been taken off now, but it's called In Sickness and Health. And yeah, it's funny. It's funny. And yeah, In Sickness and Health. And yeah, it's surprising how what they complain about then in the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s even, what they were complaining about then, they're still complaining to this day. It's amazing how nothing changes. Although everything changes and the world changes, it stays exactly the same. It's weird. Right, so Lady Blue, Shakespeare, yeah. So Lady Blue says, I am so sorry. What are you sorry for? Lisa Smith says, hi Lisa, she says, I feel like church are protecting them too much. I keep thinking about the church and what part they play in all this. Do you want to know what part they play? A big part. Religion is powerful. Regardless of what religion, it's powerful. So it can be manipulated into anything anyone wants to hear. Like, if you hear a doorbell, it's a doorbell. If you hear me do this, it's a ting, right? But if you hear noise, just noise, your brain then has to figure it out, find out what the noise is, and try and come to some kind of sensory of what it is, right? That's how the brain works. That's the scientist part, right? So if religion's like this noise, it's always up there, it's always going and going and going, and people then pick the noise up and then make it and put it in the brain, and then the brain will interpret what that noise is. Does that make sense to you? So religion is the most powerful thing on this earth that can be manipulated into anything. It's every language, every thought, every emotion, it has an answer for everything and has an answer to nothing. It has more questions and more answers than anything in this world, all in one-page books. It's the only book that man have written but says it's godlike. It's amazing. Religion is the most complicated yet simple thing that this world's got. Yeah, it's like a mirror. Exactly. You know, when you look in a mirror, you don't see what others see. You only see what you see. So if 1,000 people looked in that mirror, they will never see what you see. And that's why I wanted to do, this is why I wanted to do the Mystic Angels. This is why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to prove to people that not everyone sees what everyone sees, and not everyone has to. And each individual that sees something, if you put it together like a jigsaw puzzle, each photograph, each picture, each thought, each feeling, it could actually make the answer. Does that make sense to you? So to me, if you want to be religious, you follow your religion, what you see, your religion, to follow your path, to give you your strength. Does that make sense? Religion's religion. You can call it and put it into boxes. Like, I don't understand why humans do this. A flower's a flower. It doesn't matter what it smells like, what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like. A flower still needs sun to grow. It's a beautiful thing and it has a smell, right? But they need to name it and box it and put it into something and fix it and change it. And that's what we do. Us humans, not Mother Nature, not animals, only us humans. So we take a religion and we want it to be named. We want it to be precisely what it is. We want it to give us all the answers. A lot of people knock on my door and say, do you think God's going to come and save us? Save us from what? From what we've created? Why would he want to come down and save us? What he did was give us things, give us dreams so that he could talk to us through our dreams, give us the spirit world, so the spirit world could come and talk to us, gave us freedom of speech, gave us thought process, gave us all this stuff, right? Why would you want your God or your Jesus to come down and save you from what? Well, save us from the pandemic, but only you can save yourself from the pandemic. Each one of us can save ourselves from that pandemic by what we're going to do. He can't tell us what to do. Why is it that humans want to be told what to do? What is it that is so frightening that we can't make our own decisions, that we can't stand by what we feel and think? Why can't we feel and think anymore for ourselves? Why is it we're waiting to be ordered to do something to live? This pen, right? This book could make you a millionaire overnight. This pen, this book can sign your life away and kill you by the end of the night. Just this alone. This is your destiny to make you rich, poor, big, small, famous, infamous. Just this. As soon as you write your thoughts, your feelings, and what you think down, it determines your future as soon as someone else reads it, right? It's that easy. It's not complicated. The world's not complicated. You want the bad things to stop, then you have to stop giving the bad things to the bad people. The easy way. You want drug dealers to stop dealing in drugs, make the drugs legal and control it. It's simple. The world is simple. Mother Nature's simple. I will give you poison, but I will give you the cure. What you do with it is up to you. How you figure it out is up to you. I had a private sitting with Sir Hooper in the mid-70s at the Spirituals Society of Great Britain. Really? Wow. I was born in London. I was born in Hackney in London in 1975. Yeah. Weird. Apparently, the hospital I was born in, I was one of the last. In 1975, the 19th of February was the last that the Sound of the Bow Bells were played exactly 12 o'clock when I was born. So it was on the 18th and it went 19th when I was actually born on the 19th of February. And it was the last time the Bow Bells were ever done before they ripped down the Bow Bells and then ripped down the hospital I was born in. Weird, isn't it? So are you from London, Mays, or are you visiting? Did you visit in the 70s? No human journey is the same, Lady Blue. None. I can guarantee you, your journey is your own to take. It's your choice. You have right. You get to a certain age where no longer can anyone else control you, right? So control's been put down for the moment you're born to a certain age. Once that age comes, you are no longer allowed to blame anybody else for your actions after that age. So it could be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It depends on your situation. But as soon as you are able to make the right, wrong decision, to make your own decisions, you're then in control of your destiny, your own path. There's no excuses, oh, it's because I'm autistic or because I was abused, or there is no excuses. I've never taken drugs. I've never been an alcoholic. I've never broke the law. And if you knew what I'd been through, you'd be like, what? There's no excuse. It's all an excuse. It's cowardice. People who drink because they can't control, you need to face what you've went through. You need to accept what you went through. You need to say, that's the past. It no longer comes in my life. It's not me anymore. It was how I control it is, it happened to me as a kid because people controlled me. They were allowed to. Parents and adults controlled my childhood. So therefore I had no rights, no say, no nothing. So they did what they did. But now I've got control. Now that will never happen to me again. So I need to throw that into my past jigsaw puzzle and move forward and not think about it, why, ifs, whens, buts, nothing like that. Right? The biggest problem in our world is we call ourselves victims instead of standing up and saying, I survived. I am a survivor. Right? A lot of people prefer to stay a victim because it's easier to stay down there as a victim. It's easier for people to feel sorry for you to get their good nature and let them work for you. Because really deep down inside, you believe that the world owes you because they took your childhood away, right? But we're not, we're survivors. And if we can survive something horrific in our childhood, then as an adult, we can change and help others to survive that instead of failing and punishing themselves and drinking themselves to death, or alcohol or drugs, or committing suicide because they can't cope. People who do survive can show other people how to survive if they want to. It's their choice. If they want to stay as victims, like Candice and Don, they prefer to stay as victims because they feel happy there, safe there, right? They want to drink, they want to take alcohol, they want to pretend that they're poor, they want to pretend that, oh, woe is me, I've lost my kids, my daughter, but they've lost kids before and they haven't changed to keep these kids. It doesn't make sense. The horrific pain of knowing that you were a bad parent, you would change and become a better parent for your next children. But to stick to the same thing and have children taken away from you constantly each time you give birth and that, maybe you should stop and think, maybe I'm not a good parent as a parent or an animal lover as an animal. Maybe I need to change my path. That's what makes you a survivor. But if you stay as a victim, then you're a victim. You're not a survivor. You can't come into the survivor world. You have to stick. And unfortunately, Candice's mum, Neve and Ali and Hunter has this victim mentality. I was best friends with her till I knew she was using me. How was she using you? Your choice was to help them children. So she didn't feed her children because she knew you were going to feed her children. So she could use that money for something else, right? She knew that you were going to go buy the kids stuff. So she would tell the kids, oh, why don't you go ask Auntie Ali to buy you that dog that's worth a lot of money, because I wouldn't spend it on drugs and alcohol. And she knew you'd do that. Doesn't mean she's using you. It means that you accepted that role of her victim, to be a victim and to help the children. What you should have done was called CPS and the police and say, this woman is taking drugs, she's drinking, she's beating on her kids, and she's not feeding them. But because people were feeding the children looked well fed. And the first thing Don said was, well, look at the photographs, they're all well fed. Of course they're well fed. You had all your people and your neighbours feeding them in the church. Of course they're well fed. But if they were left alone, them children would have starved to death. Because they still would have stayed a victim and still would have drank and took drugs and just gave them. See, just because they're fat doesn't mean that they're not starving to death. They ate a lot of horrible food and no fruit, no vegetables, but there's no excuse. £10 could get them a whole year's worth of seeds of different fruit and vegetables. Just £10. And they could have started their own little gardens off. The kids would have loved it. All kids do, because they love to know where the animals. They could have had a few bits of chickens and teach the kids about animal husbandry and chickenry and stuff like that. They weren't doing nothing. Why not? Their world could have been so enriched and they wouldn't need money. Don could have done someone's drywalling, and in return, because there's loads of farmers that need drywalling stuff, could have done some drywalling for a farmer for a few chickens and maybe a goat, so the kids could learn how to make cheese and milk, goat's milk and stuff. Candice didn't need money. That's when she says she's poor. No, you're poor because you wanted to be poor. You wanted your house to look like that. Putting a lick of paint on wouldn't have cost anything. Don could have picked it up because he's a drywaller. You know, she could have gone out and done some charring or done some, taking in some laundry around the area, or helped an old lady, done some shopping for him or take him out. And in return, the old lady could have, showed them how to do a garden. I get it, the thick. I'm autistic with learning difficulties. There's no excuses. Oh, but she's slow. I've got autism, severe form, and apparently I've got severe form learning difficulties. I can't read and write. That doesn't stop me. I have an English literature degree. I am a qualified chef. I also do mechanics. I decorated my whole house myself by watching YouTube. There's no excuses nowadays to fail. She's not poor, guys. They're not poor. It's their choice to live like that. It's that simple. If they sold all them trucks and buses and just had one truck or bus, I'm sure there's a couple of $1,000 there, easy. What's stopping them getting that and then starting their own little business up in their area? Maybe selling some eggs, maybe having people camp out, like going into religious times and camping out, and maybe finding their spiritual selves with woods and bears and stuff. You know, it's just excuses, and it pisses me off when I see it. I get angry. I'm sorry for swearing, but I do. I get angry with people and people are changing their minds because they watch Candice's. Chris is a smart person. Let me tell you something about Chris, right? He's been doing this many years. He's going to make them believe he believes them for a reason. Because once they trust him, he's expecting them to allow him to look at the things he wants to look at, like the shed. But it failed. Candice is smarter than he was. He wanted to go into that shed. Then he thought, if I come away and say, I think Don was in that shed, she's going to say, right, come up and have a look. He's not. That's what he thought. But instead, he went, huh? When she turned around and said, Candice was very brokenhearted. She's not brokenhearted that a kid was taken, but she's brokenhearted that you blamed her and called her a liar and said that I was in the shed when I was at work. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. She wasn't brokenhearted when she was showing Summer's teddy bears. I was in tears when she was showing Summer's toys, when she was showing Summer's bed. I was crippled in tears. How could you let your child sleep like this? How? You'd go to the ends of the earth for your kids. Why would you let them sleep like this? But she picked up her toys. Oh, this is the one I brought. This is the one I brought. This is the one I brought. Like a bloody robot. And I was like, oh my God. I see look, my youngest kid's now 19 years old. I still have his baby's teddy bear. And every time I look at it, I'm in tears. I'm a wimp when it comes to stuff like that. Because I remembered how important this teddy bear was to him as a baby. So how the bloody hell does she keep her composure? And my son's still alive and he's 19, he's an adult. How could you look at the baby's toys and look at what she last played with and not break down? You guys are parents. Do you agree or what? Like, am I just being a bit oversensitive or? I don't get it. Right, let's move. Love Afghani from the UK also. You do, yeah? Yeah, me too. See, I don't see the racism, but everyone else does. But yeah, Afghan. You can't beat him, can you? I mean, come on. But his problems are the same as what we have today, isn't it? That was Sloan Bella said Summer was a victim of generations of abuse from both parents. Yeah, you're right. She's right. You're right, Lady Blue. They never healed the line. But that's what Summer was there for. That's what I believe Summer was given as a gift to them, to change. Don't forget how many sons as he got. How many of them are going to be released into the world when they're adults? Think about that. His eldest son, who he abused, who says he's been abused, who's in for horrific child abuse case, right? How many sons have they got between them? How many of them are going to be released into the population with his children? Someone was there to stop that. Someone was there to show the brothers love, to show the brothers compassion. Someone was there to break the cycle before it was too late, before them boys became brainwashed and unleashed into the world. Their oldest brother's already in prison for some horrific crimes. And he admits it, and he admits it was all to do with his dad. Don's dad admits that his dad was accused of being a paedophile as well and stuff. Don's dad. Don also accused his dad of beating on him and stuff like that. And beating his mum up and stuff. Summer was there to break the cycle before it was too late. She was there to save Candice. But it's Candice's fault. Candice is the mum. I wouldn't let no partner of mine touch my children. They would have been gone. They'd ask, even if they were the biological parent of the child, their ass wouldn't have touched the floor if they would have raised their voices or even raised a hand like that to pretend to hit any of the kids. That bye, you're gone. I'll do this alone. And even if they were biological, I'll do this alone. Sod off, you're not coming near my children. But she weren't strong enough, so she needed Summer. But even that wasn't good enough. Summer had no chance. She had no chance. Every single person around her called CPS. Every single person tried their best to stop this. Summer had no chance. She was a 5-year-old kid. She had no chance to grow into this world if she wasn't taken away. She wasn't meant to stay there. She was meant to sort it out and then move on into a children's home. And then from there, she was going to find the perfect parent. And even that teacher might have adopted her. You don't know. She might have been destined for that teacher. All I know is Summer's special and she was meant to be here for a reason. And unfortunately, and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, if that's true, then why didn't the spirit world protect her? Why didn't the guides protect her? They tried. Look how many people she had against her. Even her brothers. If she would have ran to her brothers and said, Mummy would have hurt me, they would have grabbed her because the brothers are scared of their mum and dad as well. And the brothers are young. they would have grabbed her and went, here, mum, dad, here she is. She knew that she couldn't trust her brothers to call on them to protect her. But then brothers are going to get older and think, oh my God, I should have protected her. Why didn't I? They're going to go through, these kids are going to go through hell on earth and back again. I'm telling you. Now they've left the parents, they're going to find out that what their life was like wasn't meant to be. They're going to be, oh my God. I just know what they're going to go through. I've been through it and it's horrific. I feel sorry for them. I really do. Their lives, oh my God. It's not going to be good, guys. It's not. Right, Mary Mayers. Mayers, can I call you MP? North Carolina lives in North Ealing for a year. Oh, right. I'm in Hackney, born and raised. Myrtle Beach. But you're in Tennessee now. See, it must be hard for you to be right there and not be able to do anything. It must be so hard for you, Lady Blue. You know, you can feel it and you could do so, and nobody's letting you. You feel trapped. You just, you know, if they just let you be, I feel sorry for you right then. There's nothing you can, they won't let you do anything. It's awful. Right, let me ask you a question, Lady Blue, right? It's up to you. It's your choice. But let me ask you a question. If you fix up their house, will that make them better parents? Or will you fix up the house and then it means that they could sell the property for more money and get more money for themselves to drink themselves stupid or take drugs? Just saying, I would think about it first. Now the kids have been taken away, they're not going to get them back. Someone's missing, right? You would have done it in a heartbeat for the kids, right? But now the kids aren't there. Who exactly are you going to build the house up for? And we know they're not going to be able to live there, right? Because eventually, if they're going to be arrested, they'll be taken away. The house will be taken over. Someone will else take over, right? And man hours and stuff like that. When there's plenty of people out there who would appreciate your good nature and appreciate what you do. But all that's going to happen is you're going to spend time, effort, and money, and your heart and soul, giving them something, building something up for them to sell it. And if they are guilty, they go to prison, the government take over the house. Do you see what I mean? It's up to you. You decide. It's your life, your money, your time. But I'm just saying, think about it carefully. Who are you going to build the house up for? The kids ain't going back there. Because now everyone knows that address. And even if they're innocent, they're not going to be left alone if they can't find somewhere. So they're going to move anyway, aren't they? So the government will give them a better house in exchange for that property. So it's up to you, but balance it out a little bit. If the kids were there, I'd say yeah. But the kids aren't there now. The only two that are there are... And you can't tell me that they can't do it themselves. You know, they could start clearing up now and slowly getting everything ready, keeping themselves busy while the kids aren't there. Because when my kids all left home, I was like a nervous wreck. I was banging into the wall and I didn't know what to do. I was calling them for breakfast and they weren't there. You know, it's hard work, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. The kids aren't going to recover from this. The oldest son has all his life learned that being beaten and shouted at and not getting presents and living in a place of squalor is all you deserve. And then you're going to be put in a foster, because you're not going to be adopted at that age. You're going to be fostered out, could be separated from your other brothers, because they're going to be doing psychologists on you and stuff. And psychologists can be wrong and say, oh, you're going to prison, you're doing this, you're doing that, your brother's done it and all this, right? They're going to go through horrific truths. And sometimes you can't face that, especially because, look, guys, I've always said this, if your mum and dad can't love you, then how do you expect anyone else to? I don't expect anyone else to. My mum and dad didn't love me. I can't expect a stranger to love me. And I've always said that. My wife's gone, don't be silly, strangers can love you. I love you, I'm a stranger. And I'm like, nope. But you'll never love like a parent loves. So if a parent can't love its own child, what's that say? You know? So that's what the boys are going to go through. On top of that, they're going to get to a point where they realise that, hold on a minute, I could have saved my sister's life. Why didn't I step in? Why didn't I? They're going to have all that. I'm telling you, it's going to be virtually impossible to get out of this. It's not impossible. Me and my brothers have done it. But trust me when I say it's taken us 35, 36 years to start to get on the straight and narrow with it, to start to understand it and start to accept what was happening, to go through counselling and learning how to speak and stuff. Oh, it's horrific. Hard work, I tell you. And some days you just don't feel like doing anything. You just feel like running away and going out in the wild and living with the dogs. Seriously. See, because you're, listen, Lady Blue, because you're 20 minutes away from him, it's harder for you. And that's why I wanted to give this platform, because nobody's giving you a platform. You're just as important to this whole story as anybody else. It's in your town, it's in your area, it's in your space. You have your children there as well. You have your, you know, your reasons, your church, your could it be one of your neighbours? You know, because you're only 20 minutes away, you're in the most thick of now. You know, it's the most scariest part, because you're not knowing. You're hoping that it is the parents, so that way you can keep an eye on them, so your children aren't unsafe. But what if it isn't? What if it is a predator? What if it just, let's say it is? Then your kids, you know what I mean? Oh my God, I don't envy you for being that close. I get it. Do you know what I mean? But no one's giving you a platform. They're saying it's nothing to do with you. Keep out of it. We're not telling you anything. The police aren't saying anything. Nobody's saying anything to you, but you've got to protect your kids. How the bloody hell are you supposed to do that? You didn't. Most people apparently didn't even know there was paedophiles around your area in Tennessee. The amount of paedophiles there was, not supposed to be that many in that area. Do you know what I mean? So I hope I'm here for you. And if you ever need to speak or anything like that, then you just ping me and let me know, and I'll come on and I'll speak to you. If you ever feel stressed or lonely or scared or anything like that, we're here for you, mate. Honestly, because I know what it's like to not know who took that child and which child's next. You as a parent must be going through beyond anything that anyone can think of, being right close. Everyone's just concentrating on Summer's parents here, but they should be concentrating on the neighbours and everybody else. Every single person's touched by this and could be touched by this if it is a predator. The police should be more open with yous around that area and say, look, don't tell anyone, but we think it's this, that and the other, just so you can protect your children. How can they expect you to protect your children and allow your children to go swimming or go out when you don't know if it is them or is a predator? People are saying, oh, it's them. The police are saying it could be them or it could be a predator. But it could be them, but it could be a predator. You're thinking, well, what do I do? What do you want me to do? How am I supposed to keep my kids safe? Just let me know. You know what I mean? I know how you feel. I really do. The only thing I suggest how you can help is be the best you can be as a human being. And when the time comes and it's your time to help, you'll know. That's my advice to you. Okay? In the meantime, keep an eye on your children, keep an eye on yourself, keep yourselves all healthy and strong. And wait, your opportunity will come. If it's time for you to, if you're going to be called, you'll be called. You'll know when. I can promise you that. Hello, my service dog. This is my service dog guardian. It's nearly time for your dinner. It's nearly time for your dinner and your walks. Are you going to say hello to everyone? Don't wink at them. Look, you're on live. Ooh. This is Guardian, my service dog. He's only 3 years old. I've had to shave him. I've had to shave you, didn't I? Yeah, because your hair was so long, it got mixed up with your fur. He's an Alaskan Malamute. Yeah, look, yawning your head off. Are you saying hello to them all? Yeah. You know they think you're cuter than me. He's a medic and a pack dog, and he's a medic and he's a emotional support dog as well, aren't you? And he loves cats, and he loves kittens, and he loves puppies and chickens, don't you? Yeah. All right, I'm going to get off. God, I've nearly been on here 3.5 hours. I'm going to get off and get him something to eat and drink. Yeah, busy morning. You know, abusers turn around and say, it's not your birthday or Christmas, it's Jesus's. So let's give Jesus one Christmas present. And that's the excuses they used to do why we didn't celebrate Christmas. I didn't celebrate Christmas until I didn't see a Christmas tree or decorations till I was 27. Yeah, see, excuses. Some people just don't want to celebrate. Other people say Saturday, other people say Sunday. It don't matter. It's what, join the religion that fits you. And if there isn't any, make one. Nothing's stopping you making your own religion up and following your own faith. It doesn't make it any less or any more. All right, guys, I'm going to say see you for now. Hopefully, we're going to be on Angels, Mystery Angels channel. But guys, listen, keep safe, and I'll do some more videos. And if you want me to go live about something, let me know. And concentrate on the grandma. She's coming. Okay? Catch you guys in a while, okay? Everyone stay safe, please. Stay safe. Bye.